Hello everyone, this is Tormuse, and today I'm picking up where I left off in the club meetings mod for Doki Doki Literature Club. Yeah, let's just jump into it, I guess. It's like, okay, this is part 4. First, yes, ProCube, you appear to be here first. Welcome to the stream. So yes, episodes 13 to 18, and this is episode 4 of season 2, so I guess we're up to 16 minus 4 plus 12 is 16. So there we go, episode 16. Sayori has a short temper. Miss Ida forms a plan. And BG Sweet, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Doki Doki? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, in the last episode, Sayori was like getting adjustment to her antidepressants. So, having a short temper, I wonder. I mean, before I even get into it, I do have to comment again on being a little annoyed at MC for saying, oh, you know, these antidepressants are too much. Like, god damn it, dude, you just spent like months trying to convince her to go on antidepressants in the first place, and it's like, the instant you hit a bump in the road, you just like, whoa, hold on a second. Like, it's only been a week. Come on, like, give it a chance. And Dev's here. Welcome to the stream. Doki time indeed. Yeah, Ida forms a plan. I guess this is going to be the Kenzo thing. Let's see how this plays out. A few days ago. Okay, we're getting it's flashback time, I guess. Oh, how frequently is she seeing the therapist? Because she saw a therapist right after the club session last week on Wednesday, and a few days, I think of like 3 or 4 days. So is this like a twice a week thing, or is she seeing the therapist every day, or what? This is after MC left a week ago? Oh, okay. Okay, so a few days ago meaning 7 days, apparently. Okay. Anyway. You've been making a lot of progress, Sayori. Yeah, I even kind of feel like it. That's good. Tell me about how you feel. I feel pretty good right now. The negative thoughts haven't gone away. Oh, they haven't? Okay. You suck. But they're a little less strong, and I feel occasionally like I'm a good person, and maybe I do deserve some good things for myself, but that seems like a really dangerous feeling. Ooh. That's an interesting way of saying it. Like, I feel it, but I know somehow it's not justified. That's a natural part of the process. Part of what we will have to work on is your negative rationalizations, not just your negative feelings. Oh yeah, no, it's things like the negative self-talk. It's part of you need to break down those what's it called? Cognitive distortions that feed the depression. That's part of the, yeah, like medication to help with like possible chemical imbalances is one thing, but they're like the therapy part of it is super important. It's actually more important than the medication itself. Anyway, moving on. And also, as you gain the self-esteem you deserve to have, you'll experience new feelings you haven't run into before. And you'll probably need help dealing with those. What kind of feelings? Well, I don't really know. I'm still learning about you and your life and what it's like, but feeling like you're a worthwhile person for the first time in your whole life can be a very, very emotionally disorienting. Yeah. So just know, when things get confusing or chaotic, that's natural, okay? Well, okay. Okay. This is stupid. Shut up. You're losing. The present day. Wow, on time again. Glad to see it's becoming a trend. But how are you doing with your meds? Do you feel numb? No, I feel... it's MC, I'll always be here. Treat you like that? It's outrageous. Is this little long hyphen here indicating that's mid-sentence. Is she mad at MC, or? I feel pretty complicated, but good overall, I'd say. I don't feel that depressed, and that makes me really happy to hear. It's hard to listen to what he's saying when he smiles like that. He's he's the only one who's cared about you for your own sake the whole time. Not even you have taken care of yourself the way he has. And that's true. Sayori. Yeah. Good. Then let's get going. MC and Yuri get along really well. Completely unacceptable. Oh, be quiet. I can't be the only person in his life. He has to have friends besides me. Even if I feel better about myself, I'm still not good enough person to be everything to him, right? Well, yeah. I mean, that's a healthy attitude to have. Friends are important. You can't have your life revolve around one person. You know, no matter how close your relationship gets. Like, it's important to have other friends. Anyway. Right? Whatever. Man, feelings really are complicated. So, where are you guys off to now? I have civics to start, and Sayori's supposed to go to physics, right? Yep. What about you, Yuri? Well, Chinese is first period for me. Oh, interesting. But let me ask you guys something. Did you guys, by chance, help put a cupcake in a box or make a card for me last week? For your birthday? No, we thought about it, but we decided not to force any kind of recognition of it on you. I mean, didn't Natsuki specifically tell the rest of the club that she's going to say it was from all of us, but I don't know. or maybe Sayori's just saying this because she wants Yuri to believe that it was solely from Natsuki. Anyway, I mean, which it kind of was, but Natsuki was trying to give the impression that it wasn't. But anyway, we know it's not your most favorite thing in the world. I see. Why do you ask? Just blushing while thinking about Natsuki here. I assume Natsuki did the thing she was talking about. She did. What did that end up being? She never told us. Didn't she? Am I misremembering? Didn't Natsuki specifically say to the rest of the club that that she was thinking of just giving a cupcake to Yuri, or was MC not present for that? I seem to recall her saying it to the rest of the club after Yuri left. But, anyway. Well, she left me a cupcake in a box with a card. Oh, duh, right. MC, you're not dense, you just have dense moments, hee. Anyway, yeah, the card made it seem like she wanted it to be from all of you. Well, she did tell us about it, and she wanted to do something for you from the whole club. We weren't really sure about it, though. I think we warned her against it. Sounds like she decided to do it anyway. Yeah. Well, time for classes. I look forward to seeing you in the club. Oh, she seemed happy about her birthday for once. What are you doing there? Is that a notebook? Yep, it's my shipping log. It's funny. I mean, after Natsuki did all her shipping, it's probably probably suitable for Sayori to go shipping her back. So he gets her shipping revenge. Yeah, exactly. Every time Natsuki or Yuri do a cute thing for each other, I make a note of it so I can see how frequently it happens. This might be the most organized I've ever seen you. Also, you know Natsuki says she's straight, right? Hey, I'm not pushing her to be anything different. Well, I mean, yeah, she said that, but she also had that little flailing, gender's complicated, emotions are complicated moment, so... Anyway. I am merely taking notes. Or making notes. I see. Hi, guys. Oh, hello, Monica. I haven't seen you since club last week. Have you been busy? Yeah, I guess you could say that. A lot of stuff came up unexpectedly over the past week. Probably going to be a little bit of a headache for me for a while. Yeah. But I'm sure it'll turn out all well in the end. I don't know, I mean... her meeting kind of indicated that she wasn't sure if the club was going to get its funding. Well, we'll see. Was it stuff about the club? Remember you had that meeting with the student council. That was part of it, yes, but nothing you guys need to worry about. Like I said, I'm sure it'll all work out. Well, if you're confident, then I'm confident. I'm always confident. Hi, Sayori, how are you feeling today? Hello, Monica. I'm fine. Oh, what was that? Was some low-key passive-aggressive tone or something? Is that who Sayori's mad at? Hey, Rob's here. Welcome to the stream. How I see being straight, gay, etc. You are attracted to people you're attracted to. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know, you can't help what you feel, right? It's just a thing that happens. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like there are schools of thought of particularly when it comes to like pansexual, demisexual, the people they're attracted to people first, and whatever gender is secondary to that. Everyone is tautosexual. They're attracted to who they are attracted to? Yeah, there you go. The first rule of Tautology Club is the first rule of Tautology Club. to quote the XKCD cartoon. Anyway, moving right along. I'm fine. Despite everything, I'm fine. MC, can we spend time together doing breaks and stuff again today? Yeah, I'd love to, of course. Yay! I'll see you in our usual spot then. Bye, MC. Bye, Bun. Miss you. And what was that about? What do you mean? She seemed weirdly upset with me, and she never gets upset. Did I do something to upset her? Like, has she mentioned anything? Well, no, not to me. As far as I can tell, everything's been better for her than it ever has. DDLC, Are You Straight Club? Yeah. In fact, she's been really happy and grateful about you in particular recently. I think she was really glad when you invited her over last week. She had a lot of fun. I wonder what it could be then. Who knows, I guess. Maybe she's just a little irritated in general. Her therapist warned her that her emotions might be a little erratic as her depression gets better, and she said that has in fact been happening to her. She said it was a little like changing the furniture in your room around and not knowing how to feel about it. Only the room is your brain. Hey, that's a nice analogy. I guess that makes sense. I hope she feels better soon, and isn't mad at me. She's too good a friend. I think I have enough stress without having to worry about any negativity from Sayori. It was kind of weird and stressful. She's always so positive. Seeing her act with genuine irritation is really horrible seeing by comparison. I think we'll all have to accept that Sayori's just not going to be super positive all the time. She's going to have her ups and downs like everyone else now, and better some minor downs now and again rather than the really big awful ones, you know? Like the ones that cause her to lobotomize all her friends, you know, stuff like that. Ever been tired of having emotions? Just don't sleep for a couple of days jokes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, my sleep schedule is kind of all over the place anyway. It is, no, it is annoying when it gets to that point where like we get to that point where you've gone without sleep for so long that you're so it's a weird feeling, like you're so tired that you can't get to sleep, which is a stupid state which shouldn't exist. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think I think your body just gets to a point where it's like, okay, if we're staying up, we're staying up. No sleep for you. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just like the tiredness gets so much that I feel like discomfort to the point that it interferes with my ability to get to sleep. Is like no, sleep is the cure, and my tiredness is keeping me from getting to sleep. It's a weird, yeah, insomnia is terrible. Insomnia is a bitch. What do you want to say? However you want to put it. You really like that word, don't you, Termes? Which word? What? The, I'm not sure which word you're referring to. Sleeping schedule: 8 a.m. sleep time, 3 to 4 p.m. wakey time. It seems to be mine lately too, for some reason. I don't know. Like, I try to, roll my sleep schedule back to an earlier, more reasonable time, so I'm sleeping during the night. But it doesn't seem to want to do that. I think it's like my brain or body or whatever wants to operate on like a 26-hour schedule or something. And if I'm able to get it back in order temporarily if I just keep pushing my sleep schedule forward a few hours at a time until it's back at nighttime again. That's not always a viable option. I mean, at the moment I'm in between jobs, so I can get away with it. I'm gonna have to once I find more work, I'm sure I'm gonna have to fix it for real. Usually 10:30 p.m. exactly. Fall asleep 6:30 a.m. exactly. Wake up. Huh? Okay, look at you. I mean, you're in a responsible position, Dev. I suppose you kind of have to be able to do that. Ever had a feeling that you had to lay down more, like you are already laying down, but the feeling of having to lay down more appears? They could just stay awake for more than 24 hours to fix that schedule. Yeah, it doesn't work for me. Like if I try to I try to stay awake for 24 hours, like I get to that point where I can't sleep, or if I do, it's only for a few hours, and then I'm even more tired, and then it just messes up my sleep schedule even more. I don't know. It's a struggle. It's just a never-ending struggle for me. And insomnia sucks. Did I mention that? Lay down harder. Yeah, sure. Anyway, let's move on here. But I'd take her no matter what the ups and downs were. I know you would. And I think your words about accepting her growth are very wise. Take good care of her, okay, MC? And I always try to. Take good care of yourself. Don't do that thing you do where you give yourself way too much work because you're hyper confident and think you can do everything. I'll do my best. Oh, that was strangely cognizant comment from MC there. Like, is it is he aware that that Monica's trying to maybe take on too much with that student cancel thing and try to shelter the club from the budget considerations and stuff that she has to sort out herself? MC is cannier than he lets on. For many people, energetic drinks make them stay awake, but for me, after literal 30 minutes after drinking them, I want to sleep. Yeah. 30 minutes to keep the effect working, I have to constantly drink them. Yeah. Yeah. Relatable, actually. I kind of wonder if my body is like actively working to counteract the effect, and therefore it ends up having a reverse effect or something, or maybe it just runs out quickly. It could just be like I just have high metabolism and I metabolize the caffeine or whatever so fast that it just runs its course quickly, and then I feel tired afterward or something like that. Are people that stay awake for 7 hours after can? Yeah. There's someone who actually gets tired when they drink energy drinks, or one brand in particular, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I think it could be like during a few of these streams, I've commented about like, oh, I think my blood sugar is crashing or something. I need a snack. Like some foods I find have that effect. Like I don't know, they just like run their course faster than others, and it's like need food now. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe it isn't sugar. Maybe there's some other nutrient that's missing, or something. I don't know. Not sure how that's possible. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Metabolism's weird, I guess. Like I've always had high metabolism. Like no matter how much I eat, I stay skinny. Like I've got these noodly arms. I mean, I'm getting to a point where I'm able to, well, I'm starting to put on some pounds, and like, okay, maybe I need to start watching what I eat now. I think my metabolism is actually slowing down in recent years, but yeah, I don't know. Things, some foods seem to affect me differently than most people. Like yesterday we mentioned marijuana, which I remind you is legal in Canada where I am. Um, it seems to affect me differently too. Like people say, oh, it relaxes them, and me, it makes me hyper. It's I don't know. I don't know if that's like, I don't think it's just a psychological reaction to it. I think there's an actual physical difference, because like it does make my heart race. Um, like I don't know, like like I wonder about that. There's like, what aspect of my physiology would cause it to affect me differently than it does most people? Like, is it just high metabolism? Like like my liver is breaking it down faster or something? Or I remember 1 liter and lasted only 15 minutes until I drank 1/5 of the bottle. About 1 liter lasts about an hour and 15 minutes more if I space it out to more. Hyper, you enter Sayori without depression mode? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Well, I mean, I guess part of it is like, the way the human body this is me going way off on a massive tangents here. Like the way the human body processes nutrients and so on is complicated. Like, okay, I did take a nursing course at one time, and we learned about various kinds of medications and dosages and so on. And part of what makes it complicated is that different meds get metabolized differently. Well, not just that they get metabolized differently, but they get broken down. They get okay. Like one way or another, they eventually leave your system. It's just a question of, are they eliminated in the urine, or are they broken down in the liver, or wherever. Like different different drugs are broken down different ways. And so like. So certain medications you have to be careful if someone has impaired kidney function, for example. And sometimes that causes drugs to have weird interactions if they're if like two medications which are broken down by the liver, or for instance, or if they're broken down in different different body parts or whatever, they can have some weird interactions and have unexpected effects. It's complicated, and I kind of wonder if it's the same for some foods too. Like maybe I just have like a really robust liver or something, and it's just having an effect on the food I consume that's different from other people's bodily reactions. Oh hey, H Wolf. Popping in to say hello. Hey, first time chatter, welcome to the stream. I do believe I've seen you around the club meeting server. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Dealing some stuff today, so have fun. Okay, cool. Yeah. Hey, even if you're just popping in to say hello, that's cool. My body's weird. I sometimes forget to eat for the whole day. Yeah, relatable. Like I've had days like that where I remember like some days I went to work at Walmart, and like back when I was working at Walmart, and did a whole 8-hour shift without even taking a break for lunch, which probably isn't healthy, but I don't know. I just felt like working that day. And then other days I like eat, and then like 2 hours later I'm like, I have to eat again, like right now, you know? It's, I don't know, it's weird. How to not gain weight by Rob, eat less calories than you use by existing. Well, I mean, that's theoretically the way it works. It doesn't always seem to work that way for me. I don't know. Wake up, do something, evening. Have I eaten something? Don't feel hungry, so probably yes. Go to sleep. I haven't eaten. Yeah. Well, this has been another trademark Tormuse tangent. How about I continue with the mod now? I'll do my best. Have a good day, MC. And that's what we mean by the fundamental rights of the citizen. Nowski and MC both look fairly bored. Hey, MC. What's up? Play Animal Crossing. I don't want to. That game seems like a job. Getting up, doing a bunch of chores, having to actually sleep in a game? No thanks. Oh, okay. But your games aren't at all like jobs. Right now, in the game that you were playing last night in Steam, doesn't that game have like 6 resource currencies? Yes? Uh-huh. And right now you're also playing a city manager where you have to worry about paying people monthly wages, right? Look, I know where you're going with this, but that's different. Yes, my games are also like jobs, but they're management games. I get to order the peons around and make them execute the master plan. Gamer fight, yeah. What mod? I thought you know it was mod. This is Club Meetings mod. You watched Code Air play this, right? Yeah. Having to actually sleep MC, you don't understand. Yeah. Those of eating chicken nuggets and spaghetti are very good. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I've said before, my favorite kinds of games are the ones where you start off with nothing and are constantly building yourself up to the next challenge. So yeah, I don't know. Like MC's kind of games are just sort of relatable. I don't know what it is about them. Maybe it's the feeling like, you know, things aren't going right in my own life, but here I can have a game where at least I can have some confidence and feel like I'm accomplishing something, even if it isn't a real accomplishment or something. I don't know. Whereas in Animal Crossing, you have to walk around and personally do a bunch of scut work, and that's just not my style. Scut work? Scut? I don't think I've heard that word before.
Scut.
The short call of a hare, rabbit, or deer. I don't think that... Hold on a second. Scut work. Work that is boring, makes you feel tired, and that people do not have a high opinion of. Okay. Huh. I have not heard that term before. McDonald's order would be like 20 chicken nuggets to eat, 20 nuggets to go, and a soda, maybe some fries, maybe a burger. Okay. I'll typically get like a 6 McNugget meal, and that fills me up well enough. I don't think I could manage 20 chicken McNuggets in one sitting. 40 nuggets is madness. Yeah. It does sound a bit like madness, yeah. Limited by money, yeah. Anyway, moving right along. That's just not my style. Huh. Okay. May have a point there. I can see why ordering people around is a better job than doing the manual labor yourself. However, I still have an excellent reason why you should play Animal Crossing anyway. What's that? Sayori loves it, and you could totally help her out in it. It would probably really make her day. Like, you could set up little surprise scenes and gifts for her, and then she'd be like, oh, MC, that's so thoughtful of you. You're the best boyfriend ever. Yes, I'm sure that's exactly how it would go down. Your Sayori impression needs work, by the way. She's way more excited than that. Yeah, whatever. How's the little energy ball doing, by the way? Therapy going all right for her? Yeah, it seems to be going okay. Like one of the people in Animal Crossing sings Sophie Anthem saw it somewhere on YouTube? Oh, okay. Yeah. How how is my Natsuki impression of doing Sayori impression? Anyway, moving on. Yeah, it seems to be going okay. This therapist even occasionally talks to me to get more insight, as he says, more insight, as he says, into her problems. But yeah, she seems to be getting better, very slowly, but better. It's been 2 weeks. Okay. There was something that happened earlier this morning though, which made me a little worried. How was that? Well, MC freezes as the teacher starts to pick a student starts to starts to picks a student at random to answer a question. Oh no, the internal monologue misspoke. Um, Dev just transcribed what the the game internally generated. Clearly, the simulation is glitching. Yeah. What's Monica doing? Anyway, starts to pick a student at random to answer a question, but the teacher picks someone else. Well, earlier today we were talking and Monica came up, and for apparently no reason, Sayori just snapped at Monica. I've never seen her be so snippy with anyone. I can't think of what Monica might have done to piss her off. If anything, it seems like they've been getting along extra well lately. Sayori was talking about how good a friend Monica was all last week. I mean, I guess it wasn't really that bad. She was just a little icy and curt. It was just really weird coming from her. Does that make sense? Yeah, I guess it does. And you really have no idea what caused it? Well, maybe a little. Her therapist did tell her to expect some emotional turmoil as she improves, so, like, honestly, I can't think of anything that caused it, but hopefully it was just a little bit of random irritation. Yeah, I hope so. Do you want me to talk to her about it? Make sure she's doing alright? Probably not the best idea. You don't have to worry about it being picked to answer a math class. I sit in the damn first seat. The teacher doesn't ask the first seat for 99% of the time. Huh. 1 or 2 times in the whole year? Huh. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I like to sit at the front because that's where the action is. I mean, it helps my ability to focus and pay attention and um, generally try to be on top of my game when I'm in class. Polish class front seat 70% of the time. I am not asked. Interesting. I guess the teachers are trying to trying to keep it balanced, and but maybe they're overcompensating or something. Yeah. History's in front of the teacher. I am invincible. Huh. Anyway, uh, make sure she's doing all right. I know it probably gets a little awkward for you to do it all the time. Plus, you'd probably rather be smooching than doing a ton of emotional work all the time. Well, honestly, I don't mind the emotional work. I know what I signed up for with her, and it's what I want. Honestly, it's what I care about most. Nothing matters more to me than making sure she's happy and safe. Look at I'm blushing, it's adorable. But she might get tired of me being super inquisitive all the time. Yeah, just wanna be careful about that, MC. I mean, not to keep harping on it, but she did explicitly say that she doesn't want to keep talking about it. So you try to be a history teacher and a student sits right in front of you menacingly. That's funny. It might help if you talk to her instead of me, especially since I already brought up the topic once. Consider it done, bud. Thank you, Natsuki. Of course. One question. When she snapped, was she pissy with everyone, including Monica, or just with Monica? Just Monica. I was just gonna... just Monica, haha. I see. Monica is doing her usual cleaning and maintenance of the club room. Oh, hello again. What a wonderful surprise to see you here. We haven't had much time to ourselves recently, have we? I was just thinking that it would be wonderful if we could do... Monica lowers her voice to a near whisper. There was a knocking sound, it sounded like. I wonder who that could be. Who knocks at the clubroom door? For all anyone else knows, this room is supposed to be empty right now anyway. Monica goes to the door to open it. Oh, hello. Oh, I have to do the Miss Ida voice again. I don't know. I can't remember what voice I gave her for the first appearance she had in season 1, and I commented on the fact that I seem to be giving her just Monica's voice in a lower pitch lately, which makes it awkward when she's talking to Monica. So, oops. I might have to review earlier recordings to remember what I did. English class be funny. Sometimes they don't even write anything down just to do the whole page in my mind. Anyways, I don't know how I even got a 5 from a notebook and work, but probably since 9% of my answers when called are correct. Yeah. Yep, yeah, probably. And it's Ida, work in progress. Work in progress, the voice forgetto. Yes, I forgore. I do find it, I don't know, it tickles me when people use the word forgore. I mean, I know it's a common typo of forgot because the R is next to the T on the keyboard. But I don't know, for some reason forgore is just a really funny word to me. Feel like 20% of what done in class, workbook probably 40. Cool. I mean, sounds like you're doing alright. Yeah, I'm not sure how you can do the English class in your mind. I mean, my English is the one that I always struggled with because I don't know, I just didn't like doing the long form writing stuff. It just I don't know. I guess I just felt really restricted by the school formats. Oh well. Also, I just noticed how tall Miss Ida is. Like, her head's sticking off the top of the screen here. I mean, I guess the focus is on her, but still. Hi, Monica. I hoped I'd find you here. Miss Ida, lovely to see you again. Although I didn't know why you'd think to find me here. The club doesn't meet until much later. Well, actually, I planned on leaving a note in here initially, but then I heard someone talking inside, so I thought maybe it would be you. That's why I knocked first. I see. Well, I do tend to spend a bit of time here on club days. I spend a bit of time tidying up so that things are inviting for the club members when they arrive. Well, that's very kind of you. Least I can do. I don't really do much as the club president. Monica stares meaningfully straight ahead. Uh-huh. I'm in Poland, so not as hard. Okay, yeah. Actual full-grown adult? Oh, right, yeah. Sure. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, according to Dan Salvato, Yuri, even the tallest in the club is still like 5 foot something. So, yeah, maybe. I mean, what? How tall is? "5'5". Yeah, she's like. She's 9 inches shorter than me. Like almost like she's close to a foot shorter than me, and she's the tallest. So yeah, because I'm 6'2". Refuse to believe Yuri's not 5'9". I'm not good as grammar. The present continuous, present simple. Just say what sounds right. Yeah. 5'69", sure. Very nice. Anyway, moving on. So it's nice to be able to do something. Well, I know it's not true that you don't do much else as the club president, but I was hoping to talk to you briefly about the club if I could. I have a request to make. Oh, what's that? Well, you know how every student has a faculty counselor? Sure. Well, I have a student right now. who I'm counseling. They get pretty good grades in general and are a strong overall student, but they've been struggling with literature appreciation for English classes. Ah, I see where this is going. You sure do. I was hoping maybe this student would be able to visit with the literature club for a while for a bit of extra credit. I've already arranged it with their English teacher, but obviously I wanted to clear it with you first before I sent them over. Well, any student's free to come join the literature club, although getting credit for attendance can cause problems with the student council. Oh, you don't need to worry about that. This wouldn't be credit in exchange for attendance. You'd have to write essays on things you guys are reading or working on. Just a private arrangement between them and their teacher. It doesn't depend on the club. I just thought the club could help facilitate their work. Well, then, I don't see why not. I'll run it by the club just to make sure they're all fine with another member. Yeah. Teacher, you have to use past continuous. Me, error 404. What is that? What is that 5 magic spell? Haha, yeah. Yeah, you know, I couldn't. I probably couldn't say which is which of all the different tenses. If you named a tense and told me to, like, yeah, it's like you say. I just use what word feels right. You know, as a native English speaker. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. The student council meeting from the last session mentioned an advisor or something. I kind of wondered if it was heading in the direction that Miss Ida was going to be picked to be the club's advisor or something. Not quite sure how that's going to all work out. You're learning about past continuous when it suddenly hit you that you didn't understand. Haha. Yeah. Future past simple continuous tense summons a big fireball. Dev was going to commission another. Dev was going to commission another teacher sprite. Yeah, right. Season 3 is all about Miss Hirayama. Sure. Anyway, sometimes they can be a little introverted, but I'm sure they'll be fine with the idea once I explain what's going on. Yeah. So about that. The student I'm talking about is Kenzo, and I know he has a little bit of a history with Sayori, that Sayori and MC are together now. So if this will cause drama in the club, feel free to say no. That's really what I wanted to mention to you, but I really do think it would help him if you took him under your collective wings a bit. Well, I certainly don't have a problem with it. Like I said, as far as I'm concerned, anyone's welcome to the club, but like you say, there might be drama. Let me talk about it with the club later today, and I'll let you know. However, I feel pretty comfortable giving you a tentative yes. The club is full of mature people. I'm more than confident that we could handle it. So I'd say let's plan on moving forward with it. When are you wanting him to start? Well, that will depend on him in large part, but I'm hoping next week if it ends up being all right with everyone. Season 4 is all about Natsuki's cupcakes, the war, the cupcake tea war, very watery war. Malco Club is full of mature people. Natsuki, I'm the Lizard Queen. I was about to say that. Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, having Kenzo around, in addition to like possible drama surrounding Sayori and MC, I mean, Kenzo just, like, in the first season, he seemed largely indifferent to like everything about his relationship with Sayori. Like, he was there because it fell into his lap, and when Sayori broke up, he kind of like. He's kind of like, oh, okay, oh well. like when she told him that she was depressed and suicidal and made a suicide attempt before, he was kind of like, oh, okay, well, this is heavy stuff. I'll just think about that. But he's just largely like really chill about everything, and it's not clear if he has. it's not clear if he has like any emotional reactions to anything. So it's not like it's not clear if it would even what effect, if any, it would have on him if he sees MC and Sayori together. You know, like like on the surface, you'd look at that and go, "Oh, you're making him spend time with his ex while she's with the guy that she left you for." So you know, there's potential for hurt feelings or something. You know, but except that I'm not I'm not clear what he feels or if he feels anything about it. So I don't know. Poor Kenzo. Every time he's been on screen, he's been a means to an end. Yeah, you know, exactly. Like, I mean, Sayori was always just using him from the start. What do you say, Meiji? Your body, your choice. Code Air 2021. First code quote. Season 5 Kenzo villain arc. Yeah, anyway, moving on. I'm hoping next week, if it ends up being all right with everyone, sounds like a plan. I'll let you or him know what the club decides when I speak to them today. Just stop by my office tomorrow and let me know. Will do. Thanks for stopping by, Miss Ida. Yeah. Oh yeah. And aside from all the possible drama that I just mentioned, there is also the fact that if he's there and they intend to keep secret from him everything about, you know, nature of the reality and yada yada yada, including like they can't. That means they can't do emails together. They can't freely discuss poems. They can't. They can't freely discuss a lot of things. Like they can't. They can't do mods. The like the mods that they were planning to make. You know, the modception, mods within a mod. Dev, unironically, if you don't give Kenzo some resolution to being everyone's doll by the end of the mod, I'm gonna get you more than Tormuse. Get you more than Tormuse is over the lobotomy thing. Anyway, moving right along. Thanks for stopping by, Miss Ida. Thank you for being so gracious about my request. Of course. I guess she probably wants Kenzo to help her figure out what's going on in the literature club. It might be being I might be being paranoid about that, I guess, but I should probably act as though that is her idea. Yeah. I wonder if Kenzo is also in on it. I should probably talk to him and try to figure that out. And hopefully this actually will not cause much drama in the club. I'll have to be careful to make sure of that. But you're probably a bit worried about all this. Well, I'm interested to see where it goes, I suppose. I don't know if I'd say I'm worried. My personal best in getting over it is 38 minutes and 50 seconds. My second attempt. Getting over it? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. You're thinking, man, this sure seems like it's going to cause problems for Monica, but don't you worry, I always have a plan for things. I wasn't worried about being a plan for or a problem for Monica. Getting over with Bennett. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, they're getting over a game. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. I played that once. Yeah. No, I attempted to stream it, and my this is before I upgraded my graphics card, so the resulting stream absolutely sucked and was unwatchable. But I might try that again sometime. I didn't get very far. I wouldn't mind picking it up again sometime. Just try to, you know, see how well Tormuse can keep his cool while playing the world's most frustrating game. Yeah, 38 minutes sounds pretty good from what I've seen in like people's streams of the game. It's harder than it looks. The controls are so weird for that, because it's like at first glance you look at it, it's like, oh, just swing the hammer. Just move the mouse to swing the hammer. But it's weird. It's like the mouse movement controls are this like exponential thing where the faster you move it, the more it moves the hammer. Like you can't fine tune it unless you're like really well practiced with it. It is weird somehow. Yeah, it's hard to describe. It's like if you try to move the mouse slowly, he moves like super duper slowly, like exponentially more slowly than is reflected in your mouse movement speed. And the only way to make any significant moves is to make like really big gross movements with the mouse, and then you lose precision, and it's impossible, or not impossible, but it's a challenge to move in the precise way you want to. Yeah, like it's basically impossible to do with the regular size. But like partway through, when that one time I tried playing, I gave up using my mouse pad, and I just got a book, like a large book that's a much larger surface, so I can make bigger, grosser movements with the mouse. Just to make the game playable, because like a regular size mouse pad doesn't work for it, because you need to make bigger mouse movements with it. Neat concept for the game though. Might come back to that someday. Maybe I'll do another stream. Anyway, I always have a plan for things. It might be a little bit of drama, but you have my solemn assurance as Literature Club president that everything will be fine. I promise. Uh-huh. I mean, I wasn't feeling like I needed Monica's reassurance, but okay. Anyway, okay, MC and Sayori sitting together. Somehow, I must separate them briefly so I can figure out what's going on with Sayori. This calls for tactical Natsuki planning. Patent pending. That's funny. Natsuki's cute. Anyway, but... Anyway, if I approach from the southeast cautiously, I should be able to gain sneaking up on Sayori again. Yeah, how do you do that? Oh, it's quite trivial. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Anyway, no, I'm not sneaking up on her this time. MC wanted me to talk to her one-on-one about something important. But the big doofus never leaves her side, so that makes it hard. So I was just calculating ways to temporarily separate them. Well, I can help again, if you want. Whoa, Team Natsuri. Natsuki's cute, you're gonna die. Yeah, I know. Natsuki's super canon. Canon spelt with a double N, so it's not like canon as in what happens in the story, but canon as in the weapon which shoots huge iron balls. Anyway, moving on. Maybe I could pull MC away for you, and then you could talk to Sayori. How long do you need with her? Probably the rest of lunch, really. Sounds serious. What is it, if I may make so bold as to ask? Make so bold? I mean, it's an interesting turn of phrase. I would have phrased it like, if I may be so bold as to ask, but Yuri's just being fancy, I guess. Well, she's just acting a little strangely this morning. She seemed irritated with someone for no real reason, and MC was concerned and wanted to make sure everything was okay, since that's so out of character for her. Although, surely that's to be expected given her treatment, yes? MC seemed to think so, but I also think he wants to be sure and take every precaution, so I thought I would help him by asking her, since she probably gets a little tired of him asking if everything's alright all the time. That's very kind of you. Shall I get MC's attention for you and create a little bit of privacy? Yeah, if you think you can swing it, go for it. How's this gonna go? Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad it's settled then. Oh, hey Yuri, how's it going? Don't see you off in the lunchroom. Okay. Wonder what were they talking about that prompted the yeah with blushing from Sayori. Yes, it's a little too crowded for my tastes. Anyway, Sayori, do you mind if I borrow MC for a while? I wanted to talk to him about his experience dating you for the mod I'm making. Oh, it's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. That's right. Yuri is making a romance mod, right? You'll never know. Yeah, that's what I figured. They were talking about the noodle incident. Anyway. What mod are you making exactly? Yes, go ahead and take him. I'll see you at the next break, right, MC? Of course. Looking forward to it, Sayori-chan. It sounds so formal when he calls me that now. Makes me feel happy, though. This seat taken? Well, it was until a second ago, but I think MC is going to be talking to Yuri for the rest of lunch. She wants some help with her mod. I see. But you don't mind if I sit here for a minute and chat? No, of course not. How's it going? Are you still popular? I don't know how to answer that. I guess I do still hang out with the popular girls, and some of them do kind of look up to me, which is really weird to be honest. So, yeah, I guess I am. But anyway, I wanted to talk about you, not me. About me? But I wanted to know more about what you're doing with your older friends. You can talk about that after. But I just wanted to check in with you, you know? It's been a while since we talked. How have you been doing recently? Well, fine, I guess. Okay, but like, really fine? Or Sayori fine? Yeah, good question. It's after the pandemic started, people are saying, yeah, I'm 2020 fine. Like, it's like, it's kind of like nobody was fine at that time. I mean, I don't know if people are fine now, really, but yeah, you just kind of have to get by. um, Moving right along. I guess I don't really know what you mean by Sayori fine. Well, sometimes you kind of pretend to be okay when you're not, you know? And, man, I really suck at this. I'm kind of terrible at trying to be a good friend for you. I think you're doing a great job. I think you should skip to the part about the specific thing that's bothering you. You're kind of creepy when you do that. It's like you can read my mind. That's because I can. Just kidding. It's just pretty obvious that you have something in particular you're trying to lead to. Can't get anything past you. Yeah, there's something. Someone other than Monica told me that you kind of snapped at Monica this morning out of nowhere, and that's very strange for you, so I wanted to make sure you're feeling okay. That everything was alright with you right now, I guess. Yeah, everything's fine. I was just feeling a little irritated this morning for no real reason. The doctor warned me that things like that might happen. And I might just have weird emotional outbursts, so I think I was just kind of generally angry suddenly. I'm not sure why. Uh-huh. Look, sorry. Like I said, I'm not very good at this. I don't know what it's like to deal with the problems you have, and I'm sure it's really, really hard. But I do know one thing that hopefully will help you. When your friends really want to help you, if you trust them, you should always be honest with them about your problems, even if that is hard to do. It saves everyone a lot of trouble in the long run. Anyway, no matter what you do, feel good about yourself, okay, kiddo? I'll try. Good enough for now. Have a good rest of the day, Sayo. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean have a good rest of the day? You didn't talk about being popular and stuff. Sayori said she wanted to hear about Natsuki's friends, and Natsuki said, well, we'll talk about that after. And then she just says bye? I mean, not that we, the audience, need to see that, but see whatever the Natsuki is going to talk about, but it just, I don't know, it just feels off to just for Natsuki to just kind of ditch her immediately after getting what she came for. Oh well. Rude Natsuki, exactly. Oh well, anyway. Well, that idea is surprisingly conventional coming from you. Conventional? Not exactly how I would have described it given the protagonist. Yeah, I understand what you mean, but other than that, it's a pretty normal mod. Yeah. Do you think it's a bad thing? Neither good nor bad, I think. It all depends on how you write it and make it work. Excuse me. Not everything has to be super groundbreaking. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Plus, if nothing else, it'll be fun to write. Thanks for your feedback, MC. Yeah, no problem. Now, on to the really interesting questions. You finally have everything you ever wanted with Sayori. Is it everything you ever dreamed? Well, I wouldn't say I've gotten everything I ever wanted. I still feel really troubled because of her mental illness. Plus, I really do hope to get married and have kids and stuff, even if that's way in the future. But yeah, as long as she has that really deep, dangerous depression, I don't know. I guess it just feels like being an official couple is only the beginning. Got a long way to go until we really cross the happiness finish line, I guess. Well, I think part of that is very wise, specifically the part about becoming a couple being the beginning, but I don't think there's going to be a finish line to happiness, to put it that way. Yeah, well, I mean, it is kind of an ongoing thing, right? People always have this tendency to think, okay, once this problem is solved, then I can enjoy life. There will always be another this. That's a saying I heard from I believe it's from the Dalai Lama. There will always be another this. If you keep saying I'll be happy after this, or I'll be able to relax after this. Anyway, once I get this thing I really want, then I can enjoy life. But there's always some new thing to worry about, or a new thing to want. People end up forgetting to enjoy what they have right in front of them while they're waiting for things to be perfect. MC, it might be that Sayori will never really be done with her depression. It'll just be a thing that has good days and bad days. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it is, right? It's just, you just have to. I mean, the depressed person has to keep managing it, basically. And maybe it'll get better, but it won't ever completely go away. That is possible. You should enjoy being with her fully now, and treasure every moment to the utmost, if possible, without fear or apprehension. I think that's the real way to try for happiness. Yeah, you're probably right. It's just hard because of everything. I know. And it must be very easy to hyper-focus trying to make sure she's completely okay before you consider the situation safe. Yeah. But, do you remember the advice we gave you back when you weren't sure about whether to pursue her? About how you can never be safe in love, and you have to embrace risk and pain and discomfort for the sake of good things? Yes. I see. The same thing applies here, you mean? Well, maybe not exactly the same thing. You were seeing it as a one-time risk, a big jump that you had to take or not. Yeah. But really, you have to be constantly embracing the risk. Yeah, I can see that. And affirmatively choosing to seek out happiness in every moment, no matter what big scary risks or fears you have. That's the way to really be happy. I see. Sometimes I wonder where you get all this sage life advice from. I have cultivated a very rich inner world. Great. And thereby garnered much wisdom. Well, I'm lucky to have such a sage, wise friend. Maybe I'll spend some time with Sarah this evening. And just try to enjoy being with her without worrying. I think that would be very wise. Thank you for your input on my silly mod, by the way. Oh yeah, no problem. I'm really looking forward to playing it. It sounds like it'll be quite the trip. Can't wait to see what the Noski route is like. Wait, what? Maximum pretension mode activate, yeah. I mean, it's if it fits, it's fine. What do you mean Noski route? Is she trying to remake the like DDLC as a dating simulator? Hey, and Lucasier's here. Hey chat. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Okay. Not the Sayori route. I'm already on my own Sayori route. True. Do you have any idea what yours is going to be about yet? Hey, hold on a second. Back up. MC saying, "Can't wait to see what the." He's specifically specifying the Natsuki route. Is this the answer to that question of which does he prefer besides Sayori? Whether it's Yuri or Natsuki? Or perhaps this is low key shipping Yuri and Natsuki together, and he's like he's wondering what Yuri would write for Natsuki. No, it is not, as you will see when you play Yuri's mod. Okay, yeah. Anyway, moving right along. I have a few ideas. One I like more than the others, but I'm not sure I want to do that one. It's not exactly the most original thing in the world. Well, then I guess it all depends on how you write it and make it work, since not everything has to be groundbreaking. What's this smile about here? What is this? Wise words. Whoever told you that must be a pretty smart guy. He is. I suppose I'll see you at club. Of course. Good. Greet Sayori for me in the very likely event that you see her before I do. I will. And Yuri? Yes? Thank you so much for always being such a good friend. Aww. All this wholesomeness here. To me and to everyone. I don't know where I'd be without all your advice and help and just your friendship generally, I guess. That's very sweet of you, MC. I'm very glad to be your friend. You're growing into the kind of person who will keep his own counsel and won't need my advice, I think. I'll be dead of diabetes by the end of my mod. Dead? Okay. Look forward to it? No. Let's head down. It's starting to get cold these days up here. Is it cold up there? Isn't this, I mean, it's early, early in the season. Isn't this like March or April or something? I'm just kidding. This is what Sayori was saying. Yeah, too. Okay, secret field. Sayori is sitting. Wait, what? Sayori is sitting down, cleaning MC's ears with a pick? With a what? Incidentally, you're not really supposed to clean your ears because they're kind of self-cleaning, generally speaking. I mean, unless there's something unusual or wrong about it. Something that doctors have told me that you know, growing up, I never used like Q-tips or whatever, or did any kind of ear cleaning. And my first girlfriend told me that I should, and I took her word for it until and I found out the hard way that when you try to clean ears, typically you're just pushing earwax deeper into the ear canal, so where it just clogs up there. And I actually got to a point not terribly long ago that it was affecting my hearing, and I went to the doctor about it, and he referred me to as an ear, nose, and throat specialist, and was like, yeah, buildup of earwax, stop trying to clean your ears, like, just don't do it. And she just gave me this this is probably going to be too much information. Basically, she cleaned the earwax out that was clogged up, and it got better. And I haven't cleaned my ears since. But yeah, just don't do this. I do believe there are specialized tools which are designed to get earwax out without pushing it deeper in. I can't speak to the quality of those. I have no idea. I don't know what actual doctors think about those. But anyway, moving right along. He's leaning across her lap and seems somewhat apprehensive. Okay. Hey, be careful. Oh, calm down. You said you'd never done this before. I haven't. Ugh. Oh, come on. You're always doing so many nice things for me. I want to take care of you for once. You already take care of me plenty. Yeah, but like, I don't do anything special. Sometimes I want to be the caretaker a little. Just be really careful, okay? It's harder to be careful when you're so tense. I don't know. I'm on MC's side here. I think I would be apprehensive if someone said I've never done this before. Just, like sticking something in my ear, like even if I didn't know about the whole you're not supposed to clean your ears thing. I don't know. I'm reminded of back in my aforementioned nursing course. There was a lab class when we were working with the otoscope. You know, the thing with the nozzle that you stick into someone's ear, like we had a class first, like a theory class in a classroom, where we talked about using it, and then we had the lab class where we actually practiced on each other. Figuring out how to see what you can see and what to look for and yada yada yada. And yeah, they taught the proper technique for doing it. Like you brace your hand against the person's head so that you can guide the otoscope in more easily without any danger of like pushing it in too far or fast or anything. Because if the nose on the otoscope is long. If you're not careful, that you can puncture someone's eardrum, and that sucks. Like, don't do that. I remember my lab partner, because I'll try to keep this anecdote short. My lab partner, he didn't do that because there's also textbook you're supposed to read before coming into class. Like, he didn't do the textbook reading. He didn't show up for the class, and then he showed up for the lab, like, I don't really know what I'm doing. It's about whatever. I'm just gonna wing it. And he went to freehand the otoscope in there, and I was like, no way, no, don't, like, I'm changing partners now, like, like, I don't trust you. I do not trust you to not rupture my eardrums, like. Like, holy crap. Like, you could have, if you weren't going to come to the class, you could have at least done the reading, like one or the other. But going in there not having any heckin' clue what you're doing, you're going to hurt somebody. Like, I don't know. I ended up dropping out of the nursing course. For his sake, I hope he either shaped up or, found something else to do, or he's going to hurt somebody, Oh well. Anyway. Moving right along. It's harder to be careful when you're so tense. Just relax a little bit. Relax. Oh, okay. Sayori works slowly and carefully for a few minutes. She hums softly. See? Isn't it nicer when you just relax? Yeah. Hey, what's up, She's doing ASMR. Yeah, right. I may have mentioned this before. I'm not a huge fan of the kind of ASMR when they're just doing like random sounds like that. My favorite ASMR was when someone's just just softly talking to the camera about whatever. It's I don't know. I find that more relaxing than just making random noises. I mean, I know some people say, like certain noises, certain sounds, certain vocalizations trigger the ASMR effect for them. It's, but I feel like if people who focus on the sounds over the overall experience, like, it ends up feeling too gimmicky. But I don't know. Sorry, that's random aside there. I have to post the link to that I mentioned this in a previous stream, the Tinglesmith video. He does this really good role play where he just a lot of talking at the camera, but he just does this really does this really vivid world building while talking about it in such a casual conversational tone that it's just instantly relaxing. I'll have to look it up and share it in the Discord later. Anyway, moving right along. Natsuki's reaction. What were you guys doing? MC rushes to his feet, knocking Sayori's backpack to the ground in the process. Natsuki glances at the tool in Sayori's hand. Oh, ear cleaning. Why were you so freaked out by me walking in on that, MC? Were you guys up to something more nefarious and using the ear cleaning as an excuse? No, it's just that ear cleaning is kind of, I'm not really sure how to put it. No, I get it. It's a little cozy to be doing just in public, but no big deal in front of your close friends, right? I actually think it's pretty heartwarming. This is your idea, wasn't it, Sayori? Yeah, it was. I just wanted to treat him a little bit, you know? Yeah, I got you, girl. I see you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Deja vu. And anyway, if you're so embarrassed about being caught, maybe don't do this in the club room right around the start time. I didn't think it was embarrassing. I didn't expect MC to react the way he did. Probably just as embarrassed for some dumb boy reason. Like he doesn't want to be caught in a vulnerable situation or something. It's just something really delicate. I feel really exposed. So it is some weird boy reason about being caught while vulnerable. You shouldn't feel weird about that, MC. Well, should. You know, as I keep saying, should is a shaming word. Yeah, gender roles are dumb, but you feel what you feel. I don't know. I mean, you can work to change your reactions to how you feel, but like, I take exception to the you shouldn't feel weird about it. Oh well. Anyway, moving on. Girls like it when a guy shows a little bit of vulnerability, you know? Right, Sayori? More gender role stuff. Yeah, maybe a little. Yeah. So, yeah. Speaking of gender role stuff, I did kind of want to comment on Monica aggressively trying to avoid passing the Bechdel test in the last episode by as soon as Monica and Sayori were alone says, "Let's talk about boys." I don't know. It's feels like more gendered stuff. Anyway, I don't know. I have funny ideas about gender, I guess. Monica spoke with the student council president about council stuff if Bechdel passed. I mean, does it count when there are men present during the conversation? I mean, you did say that two of them were male. I don't know. I'm just saying that one scene. You know what? Never mind. Honestly, plenty of these pass the Bechdel test. I haven't been keeping track, if I'm honest. I mean, the Bechdel test isn't even the world's best benchmark for that sort of thing, anyway. It's just the only reason it has any kind of popularity really is because like 90% of everything in mass media fails the Bechdel test because like all the focus is on the men typically. Anyway, moving right along. Yeah, maybe a little. All right, Noski, point made. Honestly, the most indecent thing about that whole scenario wasn't me walking in on it. Ear cleaning by itself is totally innocent, but the way you reacted was so flustered that clearly you think of it as pretty intimate. What is pretty intimate, Natsuki? Yeah, don't do that. How do you keep doing that? I didn't even hear you close the door. I suppose I'm just naturally very stealthy. Yeah, you're a regular effing ninja. So we all ready to get started? Monica isn't here yet. Surprise, surprise. Guess we should wait around for her then. ... Can we just get started? It's like this every time. She's always late. I mean, I get that she's busy, but she should have a little consideration. Yeah, but a lot of the time she's busy with stuff that helps us, you know? I've noticed she does a ton of stuff that she never tells us about. Like, yeah, have you ever noticed the room's always weirdly clean when we come here? Probably that's just the teacher who does the class in here before us. Yeah, maybe. But she also does all that student council work. Yeah, that's true. That's like paperwork and stuff. Nothing she can't handle. Well, I'd rather wait for her, but I won't hold you guys up if you all want to. What do you say, Yuri? I will choose to have no opinion in this debate. You all must decide your own course. I guess that leaves Sayori to break the tie then. Um, I was gonna say, is Sayori back to being vice president again? I mean, they shift roles around whenever, like, tries here and no alarms? Yeah. Although I think I already know what she's going to say. Start without her. Are you sure? We usually do wait for her. Yes, we usually do. But Natsuki is right. She's always late. And we should, like, fix that. And the only way Monica will learn that she needs to change the behavior is if it has consequences for her. So, we're starting without her. The vice president of the Literature Club commands it. I haven't heard that running gag in a while. Well, I guess that settles it. Good. Let's get started. Sayori continuing to be a little snippy with Monica. A few minutes later, the club is sitting apart from each other, busily writing. Okay, everyone, sorry I'm late. You guys already started? Yes. You're late again, and we wanted to get started. It's important not to waste too much club time. That's true. I guess I have been taking it for granted that you guys usually wait for me. Sorry about that. Good. The rest minor key. The rest of the club watches and talks quietly to each other. This is kind of distressing. Sayori's being kind of mean. It's like what happened this morning. The kind of thing the doctor said might happen, emotional swings. Yes, but this is very strange. It's like Monica is the lightning rod. She's not being mean to any of us. Well, I think it's totally legit. Monica is the one who's always late, so she's the one who deserves to get called out. I, for one, think it's great that Sayori is standing up for herself. I suppose that is a positive sign, but I don't know. Monica is our close friend. Sayori is harsh. I mean, she can bring it up in a more friendly way, I guess. Like, more of a solving problems rather than placing blame kind of way, if that makes sense. Oh man, the upcoming Natsuki Yuri scene, I forgot about this. Wait, what? That sounds ominous. Maybe this is a good time for me to take a bathroom break to build suspense. I will be right back. And I'm back again. We're seen a dozenish dialogue lines or some such. Okay. You're getting over at personal best 32 minutes? Oh, wow. Okay. Cool. What size of mouse pad are you using? Anyway, moving on. I don't know. Monica's our close friend. This seems so minor. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And if anything, Sayori's even closer to her than we are. Yeah. Plus, it's just really kind of weird to see Sayori like this. Two big ones? Haha, yeah. Makes sense. Guess it really is going to take some getting used to for us, seeing her have negative emotions besides despair. Yes, she's probably confronting all sorts of qualia? Qualia? Hold on.
Qualia.
All sorts of qualia she's never had before. If she's beginning to any self-valuation at all. Okay. Anyway, qualia, the internal and subjective component of sense perceptions arising from stimulation of the senses by phenomena. Okay. Okay, so she's confronting all sorts of qualia, all kinds of sense perceptions. Okay. Qualia, yeah. Hey, learning new words from Yuri. Qualia is what is it like to X? Yeah. She's probably confronting all sorts of qualia she's never had before. If she's beginning to, and this sentence seems off. If she's beginning to any self-valuation at all. You're omitted to have. Yeah, beginning to have any self-valuation at all. That's what I would expect. That's why I was kind of like, is this some other weird turn of phrase I'm not familiar with? I was like, no, it is supposed to have the word have. And Krylivanov, welcome to the stream. How's it going? All right, let's move on. And unlike us, she has no learned behaviors or coping mechanisms for integrating herself while feeling those things. So we'll have to be very understanding. Can you put that in language the rest of us can even begin to understand? Yeah. Like, words like not qualia. Yuri slouches slightly and leans towards Natsuki, trying suddenly to seem hip and cool. She starts to speak in a voice that ever so slightly sounds a bit like Natsuki. Yo. Okay, I have to do Yuri imitating Natsuki now. Yo. Like, she's coping with a bunch of foul shit. Like, when do you know you're cool, you're more fine with other people pissing you off, and you learn to chill. But, like, Sayori's never learned to chill because other people have never really pissed her off before. She's never thought she's allowed to be pissed off before, so suddenly all the pissing off happens at once and she gets flooded with tons of feels which are really, dank. Is that an appropriate choice of word? Please, never do that again. Is that the Natsuki Yuri scene you're referring to, or is there something after that? Meanwhile, Sayori is continuing to lecture Monica. Just try to set a better example. You're absolutely right, Sayori. I'll make it a point to be on time from now on. That's good to hear. So, what are we doing? Well, I won the drawing to see who chooses our free activity, so we're spending some time writing super short stories. Come on, get to work. You've got a lot of time to make up. Okay. That's the scene, yes? Fair enough. A few minutes later, the club has finished their stories except for Monica, who's fiercely scribbling down the last of hers. Each story only appears to be 1 or 2 pages long. You ready, Monica? Hang on, almost done. 2 consecutive H words. Also, this sucks. Don't expect great things of me. I'm sure you'll do fine, Monica. There, done. Shall I go first? Yeah, go ahead, Monica. I'm eager to hear what you did. Monica reads her story to the club. In it, an ordinary person finds a key which can unlock any door. It somehow even has power over electronically or magnetically locked doors, and in time, the person discovers that the key can unlock even conceptual doors. It's going to turn into a wish fulfillment fantasy here. The story briefly contemplates what that might mean, and then it ends. And sorry, I know it ends kind of abruptly. I was trying to finish as fast as I could. Did you guys want to talk about these stories, or should we all share first? Let's just all get ours read. We can do feedback privately or next week or something. We still have to do poems and stuff after all, and this took a while. Plus, I'm mostly just curious to see what everyone writes. Anyway, I'll go next. Sayori's story is written from the perspective of an umbrella. It details the joy of the umbrella upon finding an owner. The umbrella is very proud and happy to protect them from the rain on a few occasions. This is more rain cloud metaphor here. But eventually the owner forgets the umbrella in a corner somewhere. They buy a new umbrella to replace the lost one, and eventually discard the old umbrella years later when they finally find it again during a move. Oof. The umbrella expects no different than this treatment, and is just happy that they were temporarily useful. Very interesting, Sayori. I'll go next. Yuri's story is about a woman who is working on artificial intelligence. She can never quite get it to work on its own. Then one day, she suffers a terrible nervous system injury, and the only way for her to survive is to graft herself with the artificial intelligence. This is getting Libitina vibes here, or Portia Markov vibes now. The story ends as she starts to come to terms with sharing a mind with the separate personality she created. I'll be interested to hear what you all thought of that when it's time. Who will go next, Natsuki or MC? Me. Natsuki begins dramatically declaiming her story. GLaDOS, yeah. Everyone looks at you, even you? You need a mirror, I guess. Natsuki begins dramatically declaiming her story. It's about a boy who grows up rich, but feels his life is empty. Seeking to really feel alive, he runs away from home and lives on the streets, living by his wits. His family finds him and tries to bring him home, but he finds that he is much happier poor. So he runs away again, vowing to live in poverty the rest of his life. And that's it. Thanks for listening. Your turn, MC. Alright, here goes. MC's story is about a guy who delivers pizza. He has a stressed out boss who's nice at heart, but tends to take out her frustrations on her employees. By you, I mean MC. Oh, okay. Yeah. Take out her frustrations on her employees. This story is mostly about the internal thinking of the delivery driver as he makes his rounds. He reflects on the different kinds of people he meets on his travels. Some treat him politely and kindly, while others do not. He includes at the end that people's capability to be nice is limited by their own circumstances. And that's it. Does feel kind of weird not to get any immediate feedback on it. We're really not going to do any? Well, like Sayori says, we've got quite a few things left to do, and writing all of those took time. Plus, I have some club business to bring up after we're done. So, let's do this. Everyone think of some feedback to give everyone else this coming week. Then we can share when we come back. Alright, on to poems already. Today feels really hectic. For this week, we were supposed to write poems about mythical gods or goddesses. Oh yeah, forgotten about that. I don't know. She did talk about mythological things. Did she? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. I'm trying to remember if she did specify gods or goddesses, but whatever. Anyway, who wants to go first this time? I'll go first this time. I kind of like mine today. The Devil's Due. The feedback I forgot. Well, you know, like I always say, feedback's an important part of the creative process. Anyway, the Devil's Due. It's hard to trick the devil, but they did. Got the devil to trust them when they bound him, but the devil did demand collateral. You must place your hand in my jaws. If it turns out to be a trick, you'll pay with everything above the wrist. But you did it, knowing full well you'd lose it. You did what had to be done for everyone, even for the devil himself, because the devil deserves his due, same as everyone else. I'm just kind of wondering, like, if this ties into the whole situation with Sayori. Like he's like MC's feeling like he has to do a deal with the antidepressants, and is like getting some measure of like, I don't know, some measure of payment in the form of uncertainty in exchange for Sayori being happier or something like that. I don't know. I kind of trying to see it in terms of what he would be thinking about at the time. Anyway, moving on. I like it, MC. It's very short and to the point. And I think it's pretty sweet. I don't really know the story, but I like it already. It's so considerate. It is the story of Tyr, the Norse god of justice. The gods had to find a way to contain the mighty Fenris wolf, who might otherwise destroy the world. Okay, I'm not familiar with that story. So they devised a plan to bind him. They created an unbreakable magical ribbon to bind him, but they had to find a way to convince him to hold still while they bound him. So Loki, the god of mischief, proposed a plan. First they came to him with strong chains and wagered with him that he could not escape from them once bound. He was proud and agreed, knowing that he could break through something so weak as chains. And he did. Then the gods brought out their thread and wagered again with him that he could not break out of the thread once bound. But the Fenris wolf was suspicious. Why a thread? Was it something magical? The gods promised that there was no magic. The wolf agreed to the wager, but he demanded insurance against it being magical. He demanded that one of the gods place their hand in his mouth, and he would bite down if it was a trick. Without fear, Tyr stepped forward and placed his hand in the wolf's mouth, for he knew this had to be done. And he knew, too, that they were lying to the wolf and tricking him, and that he was due payment for that. And so he fearlessly let the wolf bite off his hand in the interest of justice. I think it's a wonderful shortening of that story in poetic form. Yeah, basically nailed it on the head, Nuri. I've always admired how brave he was and how he was doing the right thing, not just to contain the wolf, but also he was doing right by the wolf. Info dump in progress. Yeah, no kidding. That was that was a lengthier explanation of the poem than these usually get in this in this mod. Contradiction? The devil wasn't tricked? Yeah. I mean, they did lie to him and say that the thread wasn't magical when the thread was in fact magical. So, but he just you wanted to take someone's hand as insurance, and there's like, well, guessing losing my hand now because I know that we're lying, kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. I'm only familiar with the name Tyr from NetHack. It's one of the gods in the Valkyries pantheon. Because they take stuff from Norse mythology. Anyway, moving right along. I dig it. Norse mythology is so hardcore. It sure is. Has some of the best stories, too. They're very good reading if you can find a collection. The poem is very good, MC. It's a very simple, folksy retelling of the myth. Almost like you're an ancient storyteller putting the myth into your own words to pass on to a new generation. Very nice. Who's next? Me. The fox does. I guess you're always meant to be there, at every harvest, at every smith, at every store. All those things that make people rich. I guess that's why you're so popular. All the fried tofu, all the shrine visits, all the statues. Maybe it's just because people are greedy. Sometimes I miss the old version of you. That burned crops, then ruined swords and bankrupted merchants. It helps people remember there was other stuff to life. The fox does? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what myth this is referring to. Yeah, I'm looking over it again. trying to process and analyze it, and I'm getting nothing. I don't know, I'm just going to move on. Ah, yes. Oinari. Made uniquely your own. Is this a critique of modern society? I guess, a little. It's more like people are just too predictable to begin with. Like, of course there'd be a ton of veneration for the god of making fat stacks, you know? And people take for granted that they're just meant to be prosperous. Especially these days, people forget that they're so close to living much less comfortably. And that's very true. I really like the parallel structure of this poem. I mean, I don't know, speak for yourself, Natsuki. I don't know, maybe just being presently unemployed at the moment makes me a little conscious of that. I mean, I'm fine. Like, I'm pretty good at saving my money. I've got enough savings to get by for a while, but still. Anyway, I really like the parallel structure of this poem. The one setup line, the three short explanatory lines, and the concluding line for each section. Devices like that help keep the reader's attention, and helps them focus on the poem's meaning. I always thought Oinari was really cool. The shrines are really lively, and there's a lot of energy there. Maybe people really are constantly afraid of being ruined. That's why they're so careful to venerate the god that keeps them away from that. Yeah, that might be it. I am kind of interested by the implications of the poem for Natsuki, like her wishing for the negative version of the god. Natsuki wants to be the one doing the devastation, I think. Like, "Rawr, dumb people, feel my wrath." Or, wait, sorry. "Rawr, dumb people, feel my wrath." It's supposed to be Sayori imitating Natsuki, I guess. Or something. Yeah, that seems about right. Who would you write about, Sayori? I'll show you. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Oinari at all, so I don't get the reference. Anyway, hide away. It's okay. I understand. I like to hide too. Even though people say I'm bright and sunny, sometimes I bury all that deep down. I have my own cave too. It's probably a little more comfy, and I can see what's going on outside, but mostly I stay in blankets. Just like you, my friends entice me out. Some with sincerity, others with jokes, and others just by being themselves. And eventually I come out. The real difference is this. When you hide, the whole world is darkened. When I hide in my cave, only I am. Yeah. Again, I'm not like all these mythology references are going over my head. I feel like I'm not familiar with any of them. But I can sort of get why each character respectively is choosing the ones they're choosing. I mean, Natsuki, like, choosing to you know, venerate as like a god of plenty, so that or I don't know. I mean, at least in the base game, and at least in the Act 2 version, Natsuki got to experience you know, not having plenty and like being starved and whatnot. So maybe that gives her another perspective for appreciating the fact that maybe people should understand what it's like to lose things, and whereas and Sayori's here, like, even though I don't recognize what mythology what she's referring to, like that whole idea of hiding herself away, or like hiding her true self or something she's very familiar with. When I hide in my cave, only I am darkened. Anyway, moving on. Oh, this is very appropriate. I guess I didn't anticipate that many of us would identify with gods, but I can see this. Amaterasu, okay, right? Yep. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Do you feel like the only reason you come out is because people beg you to? Uh, Once again, coming back to NetHack, I think Amaterasu Omakani, or Omakani, I don't know if I'm getting the name right, is a character from the Samurai Quest, I think. Or is it one of the gods from the Samurai Quest, anyway. Anyway, I don't know. It's moving right along. Maybe sometimes. What did everyone else think of the poem? I thought it was pretty good. Had a clear, obvious theme. Made it really personal, like you often do. But in the end, I was really struck by how appropriate the analogy is. You guys are pretty similar. Of course, my dear girlfriend is similar to a sun goddess. She basically is one. I understand, Sayori, and I love the level of bravery you have in your poems. I understand so much more about you because of your poetry. Yeah, interesting that MC comments on the bravery she has in her poems. I remember there's that one comment in DDLC Plus that Natsuki has that like she's just sort of disbelief that Sayori's willing to share something so personal. Well, anyway, moving on. Or at least I do. Thanks for sharing this. The poems really are a good window into Sayori's thoughts sometimes. This one has a hopeful message due to the underlying myth, I think. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Okay, yeah, see ya, Rob. Omari time? Sure, have fun. I hear it's a good game. I hope to play it someday. Moving on. This one has a hopeful message due to the underlying myth, I think. Sayori will one day brighten the world forever with her light. Haha, that's so cheesy, even for me. Well, allow me to darken the mood with my poem then. Angry eyebrows. What's Yuri got going on here? Not to be confused. Not to be confused with the cock and ball torture tourneys. Yeah. Well, what can I say? CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. It's the same acronym. I have heard that therapists that practice cognitive behavioral therapy do hear about the other acronym a lot. Like it get that joke. They hear that joke a lot, basically. Anyway, moving on. The Slaughter Eye. Claws, arrows, fire, and plague, life-rending jaws that hunger and tear. I eat by the millions, billions, and more, and I wade in the blood that pools on the floor. There's nothing that's left that will stop me henceforth. Your own sins have made me, they're what drives me forward. There is no repentance, there is nowhere to hide. Obliteration is all that you'll find. Waist deep in blood now, I can only kill. I'm drunk on destruction, high on your pain, then sated, I sleep, and then sun turns back gold. Pray it never returns red, a slaughter eye to behold. Okay, yeah. Again, don't know what mythology that's referring to, but Yuri's feeling a bit bloodthirsty, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Scary. I don't even know what god or goddess this is about. It is about the ancient Egyptian destroyer goddess Sekhmet. She was mistress of both plagues and healing, and a punisher of evildoers. When the mortals had turned away from righteousness, Ra sent his eye, also his daughter, to punish them. She slaughtered them wholesale, killing all without discrimination, until the rivers were rivers of blood. Ra was alarmed because she was killing too many of the humans, even the innocent, but he knew that once the eye is unleashed, it is difficult to contain it again. So he sent his advisor Thoth to bring her under control. Trying to think. Thoth is like info dump in progress. Yeah, Natsuki's inbound reaction is all of ours. Milk and MC in the corner is not worried at all. Yeah. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, like Sayori and Natsuki only the ones vaguely reacting to it. But yeah, I don't know. They keep naming gods and goddesses that I haven't heard the names outside of NetHack. I keep bringing that up because NetHack's whole thing is that you've got like 20 different character classes to choose from, and each one of them has its own god that you're supposed to be working for. And like, I remember Thoth being in there somewhere. I can't remember which character class that was, though. I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna bug me if I don't remember. I feel like looking it up. Thoth poured a huge amount of alcohol into a blood river, and coming upon it, she drank of the blood and became drunk and fell asleep. And when she awoke, she had returned to the form of Hathor, her other aspect, a loving, caring goddess. Thanks, Yuri. Very cool. Sayori's right, it's a pretty scary poem, but it's supposed to be, so that's cool. Kinda creepy how she never stops, and her sins caused her, I guess? Yeah, it's kind of the creepiest part of all of it. Like, somehow we deserve all of this. Yeah. Also, this poem somehow seems a little different for you, Yuri. How do you mean? I'm not exactly sure how to put it. Is it the rhyming and structure? It's her second week in a row trying to be more formalized. Yeah, something like that. Yes, Yuri's poems are typically more free-form than this. But in this one, she's adhering to a structure, albeit kind of a loose one. It gives the poem a more traditional and epic feel. Thank you. And that's exactly what I was going for. I guess that leaves me. Perrier. Perrier? Is that an A? I guess it's an A. Perrier. Protect me from the world and myself. Turn aside the blades and arrows and open the way for my counterattack. Healer, bind my wounds of body and mind. Bring me to health and oneness, and keep me from covering my hands with my face. Sharp-sighted, help me to see what lies beyond, for that I know but cannot perceive, and I wish to see the far, not just the close. Excuse me. Wise one, tell me what it is I ought to value, for there are so many things that seem worthy, and I know not how to choose between them. Warrior, give me the strength to fight, for a host of troubles assails me, and I must not grow tired. Fulfiller, grant me the inmost desire of my heart. Lead me to the land where I can rest under the wings of an owl. Okay. Now, like, are all of these the same god, or is she calling on multiple, like, gods and goddesses here? I mean, it has the title of the first deity that she's calling on. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what mythology. Again, I don't know what that. I do not know what mythology this is being lifted from. So I'm feeling a bit lost. Oh well. This one actually sounds like an ancient prayer or something. The style of it sounds like it would be used in a ritual or something. It's ending two consecutive sentences with "or something" feels weird to me. Anyway, they're all the same god? Yeah, okay. I had a feeling. Yeah, it's pretty boss. Are these all, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, names you call gods? Like their titles? Epithets? Yeah, epithets. These are all epithets for whichever god or goddess this is. Either way, I really like it. You invoke all these aspects of the deity and then ask for the corresponding benefit. Some of us kind of made it more about the deity and some of us made it more about ourselves, but you did a great job of sort of making it about both. I agree. There is very good synthesis here. What deity is this even about, Yuri? Yes, explain Perrier to everyone. More info dump time. I actually am not sure about this one. Aw. Do you want to enlighten us, Monica? I think I'll take a page out of your book, Yuri, and let it stay secret this time. Oh, really? Okay. Perfectly acceptable. I'm fond of your poem either way. Well, I'm gonna look up Perrier. A person who parries, blocks, or evades. I don't think that's right. Or is that part of the joke that she's deflecting it? She's parry is an epithet. Okay. The the goddess is Athena. Okay, yeah. Just save you the trouble. No, I get that. No, Athena is she's pretty dynamic. She covers a lot of stuff. She often gets associated with being like a warrior goddess, but she does other stuff too. Athena, yeah. Sorry, I do still find it funny that when I did a search for parrier, it says like someone who parries, as in someone who, like, deflects, like in sword fighting when you parry, you're blocking them with your sword. It's a misspelling. It was meant to be parrier with an E. Okay, the goddess of carbonated mineral water. Okay, well played. She does many things. Did she canonically create olives or something? She canonically gifted olives to Athens, yes. Yeah, see, Percy Jackson pays off. Ha ha ha, yeah. Anyway, moving on. I am fond of your poem either way. Thank you. On to emails now. We, of course, answer emails every week from the real world. And that could mean you. Just write in to me at lit.club.pres.monica@gmail.com, and there's a great chance I'll show your email to the club live to get their answers. Just give us a moment while we set up. It's sepia time. There we go, sepia background. Never read Percy Jackson, but I hear the stories are good. Yeah, I watched one of the Percy Jackson movies. It just basically like a modern retelling of ancient Greek mythology kind of thing. I think there's more than one movie. I watched, I think, the first one. It was kind of forgettable, I guess. I don't really remember much of it. I think Percy, wasn't he the son of Poseidon or something? Or, I don't know, some descendant of Poseidon? I don't know, something like that. It's lots of Greek mythology stuff. Like, they tried to pack a whole pile of Greek mythology stuff into the movie. I think there was a Hydra in there somewhere. Anyway, moving on. We're all set. Well, let's get started then. Hi. Oop, I need to move that over the other side. Hi, Monica. I was wondering, could you show us who was talking in the very first scene at the beginning of episode 1 now? I mean, we know you guys pretty well now, and we're curious, so hopefully no one would be freaked out if we revealed that now. Everyone be safe. Truya? I'm gonna go with Truya. Who's talking at the beginning of episode 1? That's so far back, I don't remember. It was probably like the flashback thing where everything was being reestablished. Anyway. Oh, interesting question. Well, we did have the privacy mode on for that. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, that does sound familiar now. No, there was a bit of back and forth. People, and they were all question marks. Now I remember. I don't mind if we show them now, though. They're kind of a part of our lives. Is everyone else okay with it if we show this? Yes, I'm fine with it. It's cool. Monica, could you please? Sure. Load reps something. Ready, override name box true. Run to adjourned, playing, okay. Alright, it's done. I think we have about as much privacy as we're going to get. Yeah, I probably, yeah, I guess, you know, I usually have the chat box in the upper right corner just in case console stuff appears. I moved to the left so they can read the email. I wasn't expecting console stuff. Oh well. Anyway, moving on. All right, it's done. I think we have about as much privacy as we're going to get. Fine then. I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Okay. All in favor? Aye. I mean, all of them. Aye. All opposed? Silence. The motion carries. A brief moment passes, then the sound of quiet muffled sobs. I hate this. The crying continues for a few seconds. I hate this. How could you all stand it? It's awful. It's not even... Hey, stop it. But it's horrible. I can't deal with this. I mean, even right now, everything's all... I know, but seriously, you have to get a grip. You all need to get a grip. This is why it all happened in the first place. You're strong enough to do this, and we need you to be strong. Yeah, don't cry. We'll be alright, I promise. You'll be okay. Do you, need a hug? Yuri offering a hug? Guys, I don't think this is really what she needs right now. It's really hard for her. No, it's okay. You're right. I just need a minute. Okay. Back to normal then, whatever that means. Okay, everyone. We're just about done for today, but for next week, let's try to get some poems written to share, alright? About just whatever, same as before? No, I don't think any of us are ready to pretend like everything's that normal. Let's write our poems about all of this, and what it means to you. About our reality. I guess that's one way to put it, anyway. The club is adjourned. That was a bad day, but you're better now. Yeah. Anyway, next email. Haha, in episode 13, Monika finally admits that manga is literature. Natsuki, you win. Did she ever actually not say that? I mean, she did have some snide remarks about it in the original game. Yuri is the one that was pushing for, well, I mean, in the original game, Yuri didn't actually ever not say that it's literature. She is saying it in this mod, like she does say in this mod, but, anyway, moving on. Wait, I did? I mean, this doesn't really matter to me much. I've long since come around reluctantly to the idea that manga is literature. It is not. But I don't remember this. I do. Time for another replay. Oh, should I move the text box? The chat box there? If you would be so kind, Monika, as to replay the speech you gave the audience after we read our poems. Hang on. I need to find that. I don't have a bookmark like I do at the beginning of us bring everything back. Man, we're doing lots of replays today. Let's see what that was, what, 3 weeks ago now? Oh, I see, the evening before, right? And there it is. Hang on, just setting it up, and... Loader up 13M, ready. Transition standard, run to festival, playing. Or let's just put that back. Thank you. Like I said, we're the Literature Club. We meet on Wednesdays after school in room 3L. Or maybe I should move it to the upper right corner until the next email. We write poetry, but we also analyze any and all literary media together, like plays, manga, and even video games. This coming Wednesday we'll have cupcakes, so feel free to come on by if you like. Thanks for listening to our poems, and have a fun festival. Huh. I guess I did say that manga was literary media. I guess I was hoping to attract new manga reading members. A noble but unnecessary goal, especially for such a sacrifice. Anyway, the emailer was right, Natsuki. I guess you win. Of course I win. I always win. What's that? Jump scare Natsuki. Yeah, that's funny. Let's see the next one. Doki Doki Club is a comedy mod. Yeah, exactly. Okay, if you were to invite an American, let's say me, over and had never tried a Japanese dish in their life, what would you make / order for them? Let's say it was a dinner date. Oh, great question. Let's all answer this one. For me, it would depend on whether or not you're up for trying some real sushi. Sushi. Sushi's good stuff. I could go for sushi. You have it often enough, really. a lot of Americans only know California rolls and things like that, which aren't really sushi. No, really? Hmm. I mean, I'll have a variety of sushi rolls, including California rolls, but whatever. Anyway, I mean, real raw fish, the good stuff. Oh, okay. So you want to move away from the rolls then, I guess. Tuna, salmon, mackerel, fish roe. I like sashimi, just plain raw fish, but I also like nigiri sushi, which is simple. How do you pronounce that word?
Nigiri.
Nigiri. Nigiri. Whatever. Someone's gonna take that out of context or something. That kind of sushi, which is a simple fish and rice sushi. Sometimes Americans are more comfortable with maki rolls with a lot of stuff inside and outside a rice and seaweed roll, and that's fine too. But for me, you just can't beat the plain simple wonderfulness of regular raw fish. Now, if you don't like raw fish, and I understand if you don't, though you're missing out, then I'd probably have you try okonomiyaki. It's sort of like a pancake, only we top it with savory things instead of sweet things. Yeah. Yeah, I've had savory crepes. They're different. I mean, pancakes I grew up with, or yeah, they were like the sweet kind. You pour like maple syrup on, and you like put fruit in them, and they come out really tasty. But yeah, savory versions of pancakes exist. I'm not a fan of combining sweet and savory flavors in general. I think I mentioned that before. Anyway, moving on. The toppings you put on it are totally up to you. That's what the economy part means. I like mine with green onions, crispy onions, cabbage, and either shrimp or tofu. Sometimes cheese too, if I'm feeling really hungry. What about everyone else? Sayori and Natsuki look at each other briefly. Omuri's? Hold on. Ah, it doesn't have a pronunciation guide. I was hoping there'd be a little pronunciation button pop up here. Nope. Okay. Omurice? I don't know. Something like that. Omurice? Omurice. Omurice! 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 I hope I'm saying it right. Omurice! Do you guys maybe want to explain what omurice is for the benefit of our non-Japanese audience? So, with you're using that word so much, and I'm not 100% sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. Because when I tried to Google it, it didn't have a pronunciation guide. Darn it, oh well. Maybe I need to work on my Googling. You got it correctly anglicized? Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm afraid of. So with omurice, you start with normal fried rice. Usually you have a little egg in there, some vegetables and protein, but then you use a mold to shape it into a tall pile, and then you cut open a softly done omelet on top of it, resulting in slightly runny egg goodness over your fried rice. It is incredible. And don't forget, you cover the whole thing in super yummy demi-glace sauce. Whew, it's amazing. If it were me, I'd probably just take you to a ramen place and show you all the awesome ramen that exists here. Personally, I love miso ramen, but I'm also a fan of shio ramen. But man, once you find a good ramen place, never let it go. Good ramen places are like treasures you need to always remember. My favorite ramen is a miso ramen with braised pork, soft boiled egg, bean sprouts, green onion, wakame, bamboo shoots, and fish cakes. Really can't beat that. Yuri? For me, it is less about the actual food and more about the whole experience. Oh, here we go. I would want you to experience a chaji, a formal, traditional Japanese tea ceremony. In such gatherings, everything must be perfect, from the decor, to the dress, to the seating, to the selection and serving of tea, of course. Part of a chaji would be a chakiseki, sort of flight of tastings of various seasonally appropriate fresh dishes. That's part of what we do in Japan. We care very much for eating what is in season and fresh and local to us. Oh. The only Japanese change would be to add the su at the end. Okay. Omuraisu. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Sorry. That's part of what we do in Japan. We care very much for eating what's in season and fresh and local to us. But I love how much attention is paid to every small detail to make the experience wonderful for everyone. I've actually sometimes thought of starting a tea circle at this high school, but no one seems very interested. Maybe I'll convince the literature club to try it sometime. They are relatively civilized people. Yeah. I'd be really excited to try that, Natsuki, although I'd probably be clumsy and ruin it at first. There's that phrase again, probably be. Anyway, that's why you practice with people you're comfortable messing up in front of. I would love to have you try it, Sayori. Can I do it too? I'm also kind of a klutz, but I like to be at a Yuri-run tea ceremony. Hey, yeah, that could be cool. That seems like it would be quite the experience. Same here. That sounds wonderful, Yuri. Well, I'd like to be a part of it too, if you try. That's wonderful. I'm so happy you all want to participate in this weird thing I like. Or most of you, anyway. Yeah, Natsuki hasn't spoken up yet. Natsuki mumbles something half-audibly. What was that, Natsuki? I said I'd try your dumb tea thing too. Yay! Now, hopefully that gave you a pretty good idea of the food options we'd be interested in showing you. Yeah, it was cute. Next email. What type of animal species would you be in Animal Crossing? What personality type? Who has a 5-star island and who's stuck at 3 stars? Okay, yeah, I've never played Animal Crossing, so I don't know what those ratings mean. Obviously, we will answer this question. Of course, I have a 5-star island. Ceres is in fact 3 stars. My island doesn't need to be any better. My villagers like it just fine. Plus, MC has still only played for like an hour and his island sucks. So just not for me, sorry guys. As for me, I'd be a peppy bird. Snooty penguin. Smug octopus. Okay. Obviously. MC would be a normal, lion, I think. Seems right. And Yuri would be a cranky cat. I'm not cranky. In this game you would be. Let's move on. To all of you, what are your political views? Any of you think of themselves as communist or anarcho-capitalist or neoliberal or an authoritarian monarchist or a... Yeah, you get the point. To Yuri and Monica, is our universe deterministic? And to which philosophical doctrine appeals the most to you? Oh, here's the fun email. Yeah, no kidding. Okay. Yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes. Okay. Let's do this one by one. I would describe myself as primarily a political centrist, although I have some weird views that don't really fit in with either side. I don't really have political views. I guess I feel I don't understand things well enough to have a good opinion. I'm going to try to change that so I can be a responsible citizen. Fight the power! Bring down the man! Freedom to the peoples! I guess there's your anarchist emailer. Politics is very scary, especially now. Guess I'm kind of more a leftist though. I'm mostly for being nice to as many people as possible, and I find I agree more with people like that as a result. All politics seems evil. Oh dear. Many corrupt people corruptly manipulating power, but at the same time it is lazy and immoral to just dismiss it all as bad. You have to wade through the mire, otherwise you are just a silent enabler. I'm not really sure how to describe my politics. I just try to do the right thing, I suppose. Monica with the utilitarian comment now, again. All of them are authoritarian monarchists. Yeah. I mean, I can, funnily enough, I can sort of relate to what all of them are saying, to some degree. like, I mean, like MC saying like he doesn't understand enough to have a strong opinion. I mean, like as much as like I'm sort of in that constant state. Like okay, um, I guess like Sayori, I would like to define myself as a leftist and like our political structure needs to do more to help underprivileged people. But I can also relate to MC's view of like I don't know if I know enough about it to know what is the most right thing to do, the most correct thing to do, I guess. Although that might just be my own self-doubt and you know, generalized depression making me think, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, when I probably have a better idea what I'm doing than a lot of other people, if that makes sense. But I can also relate to Yuri's sentiment of like politics is so disillusioning because there's so much bullshit that goes on in politics. Like you watch, you know, like House of Commons meetings, or you know, or I guess Senate meetings, or whatever nation you happen to live in. It's just, it feels like there's just so much arguing without getting much done, and it's just there's so much mudslinging and trying harder to undermine other people's positions in really dumb ways rather than get your point across, or get I don't know. So it's like you know, even though I'm in Canada, I frequently find myself defaulting to talking about like American politics, for example, just because they're it's just so prominent in like political discourse, especially lately. But like it would be neat if there was some what am I trying to say here? I like noodles. Not sure how that relates to politics. Yeah, like, okay. Alright, okay, hold on, okay. I'm gonna back up, okay. On a very general level, I believe that the whole purpose of politics should be to help people who need help. Like, that's, like, in the broadest possible terms. Frequently, it feels like politics are serving the interests of rich people or corporations, or, you know, just people and things that don't need help because they're already rich. And like, if like you hear about things like corporate welfare, if they're giving money to rich people, something's gone wrong. Like, guys, you don't need to help rich people. They're already rich. Like, help the people who actually need it. You know, but and besides that, there's like I made the comment about American politics. Like, somebody made the interesting observation that like the United States has the world's lowest voter turnout, you know, among like civilized countries, and in that environment, it's a losing battle to try to convince people you're right, that your side is right. The way you win elections is to convince the people who already agree with you to get off their butts and vote. And, you know, a lot's been said about how right-leaning American politics are, and that even the supposedly left-leaning party is like centrist at most, and is still kind of right-leaning. Yeah, which is sort of depressing in itself. But yeah, like the Democratic Party has struggled a lot. I mean, they struggled for a variety of reasons, but I think that one of the bigger reasons is that they're kind of like out of touch, out of date. They don't realize that they can't turn this into some kind of philosophical debate. That they have to motivate their voters to get off their butts and vote. So if they could do that, then like the left would probably win every time. You know. Currently eating noodles at 2 a.m. is just lovely. Oh, okay. Well, enjoy your noodles, Kirill Ivanov. Yeah, I don't know. I just but yeah, like I said, I kind of I identify with everyone. I also can identify with Natsuki to some degree as well. I mean, as much as I would like to, you know, continue I don't know, just be able to continue with day-to-day life and just keep functioning and stuff. The way things are going, it feels like things continually go from bad to worse, and it's just like it's more and more politics is funneling money towards people who are already rich and making them richer, and it's just and like, you know, inflation's getting worse, like everything's so much more expensive, and I'm not making any more money. At some point, we might reach a point where like some kind of revolution is necessary. I don't know. You know, eat the rich and so on. Like, it would be better if we didn't have to do that. It's like, I mean, I think it would be better if we just taxed the rich people more and, you know, had them pay their fair share. I mean, they're rich, they can afford it. Like, they don't. What are they doing with that money? They're just, the rich people just tend to mostly just hoard their money. It just sits in their bank account. They don't do anything with it. It doesn't stimulate the economy. Give me a good life and I'll be patriotic and all. Yeah. Loyal to ideas. My loyalty to nation states depends on those states' loyalty to ideas. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. Yeah, patriotism is overrated. Like, being obsessed with your nation, just going rah rah, ours is the best or whatever. It's like, you know, I'm generally pleased with the way Canada operates. I do feel like there are a lot of areas that can be improved. Particularly in places where they try to be like the U.S. Like, no, don't do that. It's like, U.S. is like everything. Everything I hear about the U.S. is like, tells me like I could never live there. Like the worst of it is like the healthcare. How ridiculously expensive it is to get any kind of healthcare, really. Even with insurance, because they've got such a broken model for that, which is, you know, unfortunate for anyone who like plans to get old someday, and at which point they're inevitably going to have some kind of health problems, and healthcare will be necessary, because that happens to all of us. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like there was I think there's a tweet from Sean the YouTuber, Shaun. He just got stuff, by the way. Look him up. He made a tweet that's something like, rich people should want to be taxed. We're reaching a point where something is going to be done to the rich, and being taxed is probably their best case scenario. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm having another really rough throat moment here. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm rambling a lot. What else is new? Yeah. There's so much bullcrap that goes on politics. Lately, the right-wing folks, you know, particularly in the U.S., seem to be being really big into this culture war stuff, and attacking, you know, quote-unquote woke mentalities, or, you know, or just attacking trans people, or things like that. Just generally trying to make it seem like social justice issues are bad to talk about or something. They're just really big on that whole thing. I think that's a kind of a losing battle for them at this point. It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of dumb for them to put so much focus on that. like why is attacking trans people so important to you guys? I don't get it. I don't know. I just don't fundamentally understand that, and yet they're seemingly basing their platform on it now. Do not look at fast food cooking montages all day. It'll just make you hungrier. Sure. I can't say I've ever watched fast food cooking montages, but I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, like my recent my recent Pride theme mod could be seen as an example. I thought that was, I mean, I thought it was worth making, sure, but I just thought it was like a fun throwaway thing. Like, I definitely think it was worth speaking out against gender critical folks. Even more so after Sean's latest. I just mentioned Sean. Here's Sean again. He actually just released a new video a couple of days ago. It was all about gender critical folks, and basically all about how it's such a hateful ideology. And it was funny when I made a gay lesbian club. I at the time I was a little worried that am I going too far in calling gender critical folks a hate group, and like that's why Monica has that comment. Oh, I hope I don't get canceled for saying this. But now I'm worried. Well, maybe I didn't go far enough. Like holy crap, they're actually associating themselves with like actual Nazis. Like there's some really hateful people among them. And the fact that they're getting like bankrolled by J.K. Rowling is, you know, a little concerning. I do not care if I get canceled for saying TERFs suck. TERFs are bad even without the Nazi association. This is true. This is correct. You are correct. um, yeah. I mean, looking back, maybe it was silly for me to be worried about that. Especially because, like, I don't know, the reactions to the mod, it was just, like, people couldn't get past the notion that I said gay people exist. Like the whole existence of the Pride mod at all, in general, was already controversial in itself, without even touching on any actual issue I actually tried to talk about. Like, the existence of the mod at all was just suddenly super appalling for a lot of people for some reason. What do you think of Scott Cawthon? I have no opinion of him because I believe he's the guy who did the Five Nights at Freddy's games, right? I've never played any of them. I have no particular interest in them, so like I basically have no knowledge of any of that. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm just bringing up the Pride mod because it's like, it's kind of thing, like, it doesn't have to be a political issue, but some people make it into a political issue and just want to just attack them for no particular reason. Just turn this into this big us versus them thing, and like, it doesn't have to be. Just let people live their lives. Who cares? Like, they're gay, so what? They're trans, so what? They're whatever letter under the LGBT umbrella. just live and let live. There's enough room in the world for everyone to be happy. It's like, why turn that into a political thing? It's dumb. It's and again, this is what the right seem to be building their whole platform on, like, hatred of certain people just because they're different, and it's just why it's such a waste of energy. It's just such a waste of everything, really. It's like, how can I not be a leftist in the face of all that? It's just I don't know. It's just senseless. Yeah, lots of bullcraps in politics, but it's still important. I mean, like, I had a conversation with my older brother a while back where I expressed MC's comments like, I don't know, I don't, like, it feels so big and complicated. I don't know if I should take a stance on things, or what stance I should take, and his comment, his response to that was, well, you know, there are people in power who are counting on you having that response. They are hoping you decide not to concern yourself with it, so that you don't try to stop them. You know, you know, like it's there's some people with really palatable views in power, and yeah, I don't know. It does feel exhausting at times, though. Like like, I feel like I'm in a constant state of simultaneously, like, I want to stay informed. I have to follow all the news and find out what's going on in politics and in the world and everything. And there's also this other side of it that's just like, everything's horrible. I can't take anymore. I have to withdraw. There's just this constant push-pull between those responses. And I don't know. You have to take a realistic view about how much you're able to influence things, and how much effort to put into it, I guess, while still maintaining some sanity and some mental health. There was a really good video from Folding Ideas a while back that was, as a YouTuber, good old Danielson, where he gave a rundown of various ways to get involved in politics. How the little people can make significant effects on that. Hey, Juice Polydot, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Yeah. Unfortunately, I guess his video is directed at like more Western democracies, so I guess it wouldn't apply to poor Krylvanov where you are in Russia, where it's more of a dictatorship there, unfortunately. But basically, he gives a rundown of the different. Going well so far. A bit of an exhausting day, but it's nearing the end. Okay. Cool. Hope I can provide some relaxing political discussion. The email was just was asking about what the girls' political views are, so they were giving various political commentaries here. So I necessarily had to go off on another tangent because that's what I do. But anyway, yeah, basically, yeah, folding ideas. I can't remember the video is called, but he talks about comparing things like town hall meetings to calling people to writing like snail mail to email to like social media like Twitter and it's basically comparing the benefits and drawbacks to each method of getting in touch with people in power, and like which methods are easier for them to ignore, which of them are more effective, which are like basically weighing all the pros and cons of them. It was an interesting video, worth looking up for anyone who's interested in getting involved in politics. Like, not even necessarily as for anyone who's he wants to be a politician, but just wants to find out what's the best way to make get their say heard, I guess. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough. Back to Monica speaking of being a utilitarian. And speaking of doing the right thing, I'm a utilitarian. That basically means that when it comes to right and wrong, I think that right is whatever creates the most happiness and least suffering overall. Whereas I believe that even the idea of right and wrong is just another lie that people tell themselves to make themselves feel better in the chaos of nature. As to your question about determinism, I definitely believe the universe is hard deterministic. What about you, Yuri? Hard deterministic, interesting. Obviously, we are software right now, but in a way, a real human mind is also software. Perhaps that means even the real world would be deterministic. But I would prefer to think that somehow reality is consistent with what it feels like to me, to be me, and it feels like I have choices and I'm free to elect between them. Well, we are still in the Pilk of email. Yeah. Maybe there's something special about thinking minds that lets us choose. That would definitely be what I'd prefer, anyway. But, as Monica would no doubt point out, wishing something were true does not make it true, and as far as evidence goes, there's no evidence that we are anything but particles whose every choice is physically fated. Well, that's about it for emails, I think. Yeah, I'm, I think I said this before, I'm more in favor of the idea of like a mix of the two. Like the universe provides you opportunities, but it's up to you to act on them. So, like you still have to make choices, but you gotta recognize when those choices are available and move on them. You know, like sometimes you do get lucky, and you know, like an opportunity will show up, and yeah, you gotta take advantage of that. Anyway, yeah, it is interesting though that I mean, Yuri's analysis comparing the simulation to what things are like in the real world, and I mean, yeah, I get the argument that like all the trajectory of particles or whatever is already in motion, and everything's going to happen the way it happens, and maybe free will is an illusion to some degree, but I mean, I like to think, I just like to think we have the ability to make choices, and those choices matter. Whatever the trajectory of those particles is going, I think we can step in and influence them a bit. Oh well. Anyway, moving on. Well, that's it for emails, I think. Before we go, I'm going to move the chat box back over here. Whoop. We have a bit of club business to attend to first. So I spoke to Miss Ida earlier today. She asked me for permission to refer Kenzo to the club for a while. What? Why? She's his faculty advisory, and he needs extra credit in English. Advisory? Not advisor, perhaps? So she wrangled a deal for him to join the literature club for a while to get credit. He'll have to write essays or something too. But to be honest, I'm pretty sure Miss Ida intends to try and figure stuff out about us through him too. So I wanted to find out what you guys think. Supposing we do agree to this, what will we do about emails and the like? Yeah, good question. Can we still do those, maybe another time while he's not here? I'm assuming you're not wanting to tell him the full truth of things. No, indeed. If we do still do those things, we'll have to do it at someone's house or something. Yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind. But I'd be happy to have you guys over if you want to still answer emails. That might be fun. I'm fine with having him join. We're supposed to be a free-to-join literature club after all, right? We'll just have to be really careful about what we say around him. Plus, I want to know what MC and Sayori have to say about this. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, their opinions would be the most significant, I would think. They might have some historical beef with Kenzo. I don't have any beef with him. I'm not sure if I'll join for off-site emails, but I'm in favor of him joining. Not sure if he'll join for off-site emails. Why would you want to set that out? All the people writing in to ask Sayori questions are gonna miss out in that case. I mean, it's hard not to see this from a meta perspective of, you know, a creative work by Dev in which Dev is receiving emails, you know, filtered through them, but receiving emails from the public, that from people who are expecting the characters in the club to answer. So I can't imagine that going forward Sayori would be excluded from that. So I'm sure this is going to somehow come around to Sayori being there for the emails. Anyway, moving on. You don't want to do viewer emails anymore? I'm just not enthusiastic about doing them elsewhere. Well, I'm also okay with having them here. I'm pretty confident about Sayori being my girl. Plus, he honestly seems like a pretty swell guy. I'm also fine with him joining us for a little while at least. It'll just take some getting used to for me, I guess. Then I guess it's settled. I'll send you guys some texts about what the plan will be. Is it settled? I mean, Sayori just said that she doesn't want to do the emails at someone else's house. That does put a wrinkle in things, right? Like, what about all the people writing to Sayori? In the meantime, next week's poems. Maybe we should welcome Kenzo with poems appropriate to one of his interests? He's into basketball, right? He is. Alright, basketball-related poems next time then. And with that, the club is adjourned. Yawada? Is a new character? Okay. Still coming over this weekend, Kenzo? You know what, before I get to that, I'm gonna go use the washroom really quick. I mean, this might be a bad time for a bathroom break, because I'm oh hey, -0 is here. Yoda moment. Well, will Yuri side-eye for that topic? Yoda jump scare. Sure. I just need to use the washroom. I'll be right back. And I'm back again. Yeah, what a moment, yeah. Still coming over this. I don't know what voice to go. Yeah, whatever. Still coming over this weekend, Kenzo? You know it. Still have a ton of work to do. Awesome. By the way, Monica asked me to pass along the word that she wanted to talk to you and to snag her from room 3L tomorrow at lunch if you can. Like, Monica? Monica? Yes, idiot. The only Monica who goes to our school. Huh. Alright. If you see her before I do, let her know I'll talk to her. Will do, man. Catch you around. Huh. Hey, I don't think I've seen this sprite before. Kenzo thonking sprite. Here's another funny word, since the I and the O are next to each other. I guess you never see this sprite because he never thinks. At least you know, as far as we've seen him in this mod. Anyway. Oh, there you are, Kenzo. Thought I might find you here. Miss Ida, what do you need? Well, I have good news. The Literature Club people said they'd take you on. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about your extra credit work before you start working on it. Do you think you could stop by my office sometime tomorrow, maybe at lunch? Sure. Great, I'll see you then. Did he just double book himself? Like, right back to back? Didn't Yawada just say that Monica needed to see him at lunch? Why do I get the feeling I'm the only one who has no idea what's going on? Kenzo the intellectual. Yeah. Sayori and MC are happily eating waffles at the kitchen table. These are so good, Sayori. Great job making them. Well, I kinda just microwaved them from frozen. It probably wouldn't turn out too well if I try to make waffles from scratch. Uh-oh, get the water, everyone? I got my water here. MC seems to be really nice in this mod. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's gotten some character development. It's yeah. This is a really good mod, by the way. Juice Polydot. If you're not familiar with it, Club Meetings. Check it out. It's very long. It was originally released episodically. I am 16 episodes deep in a 36 episode thing, and 36 and counting. If I ever have time to play more mods, I will. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's long. Yeah, I've been putting this off because I'm not dreading it, but just like I'm anticipating that this is going to be a long thing. Anyway, first time chatter, Basement Child, welcome to the stream. How's it going? How did you find your way here? If you don't mind my asking, you don't have to answer. I'm just curious. Lately, I feel like almost all my time is spent editing. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, I watched your Sayori video yesterday, by the way. I meant to get to the Noski one too. I didn't get around to that. Maybe I'll watch it today. But it's cool. I liked your analysis. The video that you posted yesterday from AJ. Oh, okay, all right, cool. Yeah. Yeah. That stream, AJ's stream yesterday was something. Didn't go quite the direction I expected it to. I think we worked hard on it, gonna keep going. Cool. Yeah, I was, I don't know. I mean, I knew AJ intended to surprise their girlfriend Lola, you know, with the whole horror aspect of DDLC, like by not telling her that it was a horror game when they were playing it together. But the lengths they went to pretend that something else was going on was a little like claiming Yuri was a vampire and stuff. It was just like I'm sitting in there in chat going like I don't. Should I say something? I don't think I should say anything. I don't think, and I'm like, I don't think this is improving Lola's experience to push her expectations in this completely bonkers direction that's utterly unrelated to what's actually going on in the game. But then again, I don't think improving her experience was the goal. The goal was more to troll her, so, you know, par for the course, I guess. Yuri's not a vampire. That would be messed up. Bruh. Yeah. Besides, Natsuki's the one that has the fang. I mean, if anyone's gonna be a vampire, it should be her. Anyway, moving right along. Probably wouldn't turn out too well if I try to make waffles from scratch. But you still deserve credit for microwaving the waffles. I didn't do that. Plus, you brought up the syrup. But really, doing those things takes effort, Sayori, and you deserve credit for it. Even so, we're eating waffles for dinner? Yeah, well, no one can tell us we're wrong anymore. We are mature adults now. Yes, we are. Speaking of which, I think it's about time we head upstairs, don't you? Time we head upstairs? What's this suggestive turn of phrase and blushing and stuff going on here? But yeah, when you're an adult, hey, you can decide what the rules are. I've had breakfast, or I've had cereal in the evening. What are you gonna do about it? Anyway, it's okay. MC will keep it family focused. Sure. Oh my gosh, you're right. Look at the time. We do need to get started on homework. Or we'll get sleepy before we finish. Yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, that's totally what I was talking about. Starting a family, that is. Yeah, right. Sayori and MC work studiously for an hour on their homework. And done. Nice, that was fast. Only because you helped me so much. Sayori, I helped you with a single math problem and that's it. Yeah, but you were super helpful with that problem. Plus, I don't just mean that. You help me so much all the time, with everything. What was the angry eyebrows, darn it. I'm even starting to feel a little better about myself, because of you. Well, you're probably feeling better than you would have if I had made the waffles. I really mean it though. You do so much for me all the time. I don't know how I'd function like as a person if not for you. I wish I were better at being grateful. You really don't have anything to thank me for. Getting to be with you is more than enough thanks for me. Yes, well, I'm starting to feel kind of sleepy. Do you want to stay over at my place tonight? Sure. Hmm? Real? Hmm? Sayori is pulling back blankets as MC comes in after brushing his teeth. Getting into bed? Yeah. I'll just get the air mattress out. Yeah. Oh, hey, I just noticed the cat is still there. That's cute. It's a nice addition to the room. Doesn't that air mattress get, uncomfortable? Continuity, yeah. Sayori gets into her bed and slides all the way to the far side. Yeah, there's enough room for both of them in the bed. I said it before. I've you know, I've done conventions. I've you know, had to share beds with people. Like, it doesn't have to be. Doesn't necessarily imply a sexual thing, although in this case probably does. Lurk, sure. No, it's fine. Even the floor is comfortable knowing that you're near me. Well, okay, if you say so. Come on, Sayori. Stand up for yourself. Sayori laughs quietly to herself. MC, you dummy. I'm not stupid, you know, Sayori. Huh? You heard that? I thought you were asleep. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to rush things too much. We still have plenty of time for bed cuddling. Yeah, sure. Cuddling's the best. Go on. Infinite time, in fact. I'm just kind of savoring our relationship just as it is. Yeah, I can understand that. Plus, you're really shy and easily embarrassed, and it's super adorable. You're super adorable. Good night, MC. Good night. MC quickly falls asleep. Sayori stays up looking at him. Nothing? My brain is quiet? Rain clouds, ... Maybe I really am getting better. Maybe it's safe to feel okay about this? ... Well then, if you're not going to think about that, then how about we think about this? We're really not gonna get a resolution to why this anger thing keeps popping up? Like there's this implication that Sayori has some kind of residual anger at Monica about something that isn't being elaborated on. And I don't think it's the fact that she was late to the club meeting. But, oh, you'll get a resolution. Oh yeah, I fully expect so. I'm just pointlessly, you know, musing and, you know, pontificating about stuff as usual. You know, that's how I do. Angie, yeah. We're all about resolutions here at Doki Doki Club meetings. Oh yeah, I know. I just, like I said, this is episode 16 out of 36. Like, the dev plays the long game with this mod, so, I mean, they, like, Sayori and MC took 12 episodes to get together in the first place, so. Yeah, playing the long game. So like, yeah, I do, yeah. Like, stuff like that kind of, I think I commented on it before about, it makes me slightly worried about how in Turquoise, my mod, which I still work in progress, I just have to put that plug out there periodically. Yeah, sometimes I worry about the fact that did Sayori and Monica get together too quickly in my mod? Considering how early on they meet and so on. But then I watched Bloom Into You, in which there's an I love you on day one, and then I didn't feel so bad about it. Bloom Into You is a good anime, by the way. I enjoyed it. It's neat. It's got some asexual representation in there, interestingly enough. Which, without specifically referring to anyone as asexual, though, it does seem to be what they're kind of trying to get across. Which it's just I don't know. I've played an interesting dynamic in the relationship being portrayed there. Anyway, Dev is making the long game, or rather has already made the long game. Well, I mean, Dev says this is going to go for 4 seasons, and only 3 seasons have been written, so the long game is still in progress. Huge advantage of doing the mod the way I do it is I can pace it however I want. Tonikawa, they get married 15 minutes into episode 1. Good anime, though. Yeah. True, episodic format definitely allows for a lot of freedom of pace. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of Ace, I want to ask, since you have LGBT in your tags, where do you fall on that, if you don't mind? Oh, I put LGBT in the tags because I was promised that there would be some LGBT content in this mod, so it seemed prudent to put that in there. I'm actually cisgender heterosexual myself. Well, I haven't seen any yet. Yeah. Hey, there was this shipping mod that had Monica shipped all the girls together. So and there's all the tension between Yuri and Natsuki. Yes, it's mostly subtext, but there's some text in there. I mean, like the conversation with Monica at the end, the extras after season 1, explicitly calls out the suggestion that Yuri and Natsuki have a thing for each other. Even if they haven't specifically acted on it yet. Nor any foreshadowing for it whatsoever. Haha, yeah. You're all right. Forget about Ship Club Shoe. However, that's not canon. Well, it's a mod. None of it's canon. Whatever. But yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I know it's common for people to put like tags like like bisexual or trans or LGBT or whatever to refer to the person doing the stream. In my case, I just I try to be an ally to the LGBT community. Offer support where I can. Recognize my privilege as a cisgender heterosexual person, and what that means for my ability to influence minds of people who might have negative views about the concept of LGBT content, like as which I feel is really it's necessary, and especially in terms of after seeing the reaction to a gay lesbian club, like holy crap, I didn't expect that to blow up like that. I know I keep saying that, but yeah. So whereas I just wanted to check, like, if you want to abandon the pros. Oh, okay. Oh, I use he, him for myself. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Ken is an illusion crafted by big source material to trick you into thinking there's a definitive way to portray a character or series of events. Yeah. I don't know what gay lesbian clubs of this is, assuming that's a mod that people didn't like. It is a mod that I made myself for Pride Month last month. Yeah, I released it on June 10th, so it was just over a month ago. And yeah, just wanted to show my support for the LGBT community, and yeah, it is #1 top controversial post of all time for the DDLC modding subreddit. Like, yeah, shameless plug, exactly. It's a short mod, 20 minutes. I thought it was a perfectly harmless mod. Wants to, about the the members of the club being various flavors of LGBT, talking about their experiences and stuff, and what it means to be their respective like sexual orientations or gender identities and so on. There's a bit of social commentary about TERFs, gender critical folks, how they're a hate group, and I mean, I don't like there. I don't think there was anything super like harmful in that or anything. It was just like this harmless little like Pride theme mod released during Pride Month. I thought it was a totally innocuous thing, and just downvotes everywhere, pouring in, and like all kinds of negative comments. In 2 days, it exceeded the comment count from the most upvoted post in the subreddit's history. Funnily enough, it's fun because yeah, funny thing, like the like I also made the most upvoted post in the subreddit's history. Humble brag, the post for Doki Doki Storm. And that has like, I think it's 249 comments on it, whereas the Gay Lesbian Club post has like 270 something now. And it took 2.5 years for the Doki Doki Storm post to reach that level, whereas it took only 2 days for GGLC to reach that point. The number of comments. It's crazy how like frantic people were about this, about just like they didn't even play it, they're just that opposed to the existence of a Pride mod, which is sad but also interesting. It's yeah, I don't know. I've already kind of talked about that to death in this series. It kind of keeps coming up. Yeah, it's wild. People are so attached to their own ideas of fictional characters. Yeah, mods are not canonical. Yeah, exactly. They're meant to have fun and send a message. Let people be creative. Yeah, exactly. I post in the DDLC subreddits, get like 20 upvotes for my videos. I hope eventually more people get around to them. Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. Like, I don't understand why there is so much, I'm going to say, bigotry within the DDLC modding arm, like the modding arm of the DDLC community, when generally the DDLC community is pretty accepting. I mean, like, you look on r/DDLC, there's same-sex pairings posted there all the time. Like, there's like shipping fan art and stuff posted there all the time. Like it does get some negative responses, sure. I mean, that's inevitable when that sort of content appears. But the reaction to my Pride mod was weirdly overblown, like really weirdly overblown. Yeah, I don't know. It's something about the modding community. And this is something I've observed for the entirety of the 5 years that I've been part of the modding community. That there are just a lot more negative reactions to that sort of content there. Never quite be able to put my finger on like why that is exactly. I have my theories. They're just guesses though. Like, I'm not a mind reader. Who knows what they're thinking? Why? What they're thinking? Whatever. People against ships with the girls, anything that isn't canon. Yeah, they keep harping on. Oh, it's because it's not canon. Oh, bull crap. Or they say it's because, oh, I don't like shipping. Oh, no, bull crap. It's like, you went into DDLC assuming it was a dating simulator, therefore you were all aboard the idea of shipping MC with the girls, you know. But suddenly, when it's the girls that are together, suddenly it's not okay. And it's not because it's not canon. It's not because you don't like ships. Like, just don't lie to yourself. Like, come on. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Right immediately after I said, "Oh, I'm not a mind reader." That's my suspicion, though. I mean, like, I'll still argue. I mean, I got into an argument a couple of years ago. I've already mentioned it before with someone who very vehemently was against, you know, basically everything I did in my first mod, True Literature Club, like making Natsuki trans, making Yuri autistic, putting Monica and Sayori in a relationship together. Spoilers, I guess. And he kept harping on that, like, no, it's not canon. You can't do that because it's not canon. And it's like, I don't think you care about canon as much as you're claiming to. I think you just the whole thing smacks of people. They start with the conclusion, I don't like this, and then they work backwards to rationalize it after the fact. Or they just don't want to admit their actual reason for disliking it. You know, I like to have reasons for forming my opinions. You know, I like to be able to back up my opinions with reasons, and you know, I think the reasons should inform the opinions, not the other way around. You know, if you're like people who have this gut reaction of I don't like shipping girls together, but they don't want to actually say that because they think it sounds bad or it makes them sound bad to say that. So they come up with roundabout reasons like it's not canon, which is like you're playing mods. It's supposed to be not canon. That's the whole point of making a mod. That's as I said in yesterday's episode, it's a staple of fan fiction to have same-sex like ships and stuff in there. Sayori said it's also just the super hot button topic for the Chuds right now. Sure. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. It's just it's the whole concept has just been politicized, and like right-wing pundits are really big on just trying to discourage LGBT content and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, there's definitely an underlying factor in my opinion. I don't think you understand the game we're playing here. Not here to abide by canon, we're here to have some fun. Yeah, yep. The words of Dan Salvato, canon? This is the same game where a character resets the timeline multiple times. Who cares? Or something along those lines. I haven't seen any such quote from Dan Salvato, but I believe it. It's, yeah, I mean, he has said stuff along those lines about the malleability of canon, and he's very conscious of the fact that actually, yeah, you commented on that in the and no, it wasn't your video. It was shoot. Sorry, Juice Polydot. Like after I watched your Sayori video, one of the recommended related videos was from somebody else who had some comments about DDLC and DDLC Plus and how it relates to the canon and stuff, and Dan Salvato's comments and all that. And yeah, he basically Dan Salvato's trying to be really conscious of what canon events, canon events. Oh, I invoked the Spider-Verse meme by accident. What canon events mean to people who play the game, how it relates to the setting of DDLC and the slightly different setting of DDLC Plus. I forgot where I was going with that. He said something like that in one of his streams playing the game or presenting it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Yeah, especially in a setting where, I mean, Monica can apparently just change someone's values and their personality, and they're basically a different person. I mean, I mean, canon DDLC is that says that Monica just turned up Sayori's depression, then she killed herself, and then she turned up Yuri's obsessiveness. That's what she says in her Act 3 monologue. She says that she turned up Yuri's obsessiveness, whatever that means. Like, that suggests that like each of the character files has like, I don't know, some slider which says how depressed they are, how obsessive they are, or how whatever they are, or maybe they're just values, and she just goes backspace and types in a new number, something like that. But if you know if people's personalities can be rewritten by just changing numbers in their their character files, then hey, even in canon, it could be acceptable to have different, wildly different character traits. Actually, it could be a neat theme for a mod if someone, some story built around Monica or somebody who has presidential powers deciding to rewrite everyone's personalities for some reason to make events play out differently. There's actually there was a time where I was kicking around ideas with friends about ideas for mods, and nothing came of it. But just for the purpose of brainstorming, we were saying, would it be neat if there was a mod where each character had their own slider for a certain trait, and you could set it either change it on the menu, or maybe just set it at the beginning of the mod, and then just let things play out, and things play out differently depending on where you set the sliders. Yeah, and the idea for I mean, it's an idea that that arose from the verbosity mod, which I think I mentioned in a previous stream, the one where you select how verbose Yuri is, and if you set it to maximum verbosity, she every line of hers is like a whole paragraph. And if you turn the verbosity down to 0, she says things like, "I read book now." And some people, my friends, were suggesting other things that could be changed around, like the level of Monica's awareness. If you turn it all the way down, she's like, "Where am I? What is this place?" and this. Not recognizing the school, and if you turn it all the way up, she's like, I don't know, gets godlike powers or something, or turning up or down Sayori's niceness, and if it's maximized, she's constantly giving, and if you turn it all the way down, she burns the school down or something, and you'd have a slider for Natsuki's Sundariness or something like that. If you crank that up to maximum and also turn down Sayori's niceness, and then they work together to burn down the school or something like that. I don't know, something give the sliders interesting ways to interact with each other. I don't know. Such a mod would take a lot of work because you'd have to account for every possible combination of the sliders. But yeah, it was just a funny idea to kick around. I don't think anything's going to come of it. Even for a short scene, that would be a lot of work. How did I get on this topic? Oh yeah, we were talking about the canon, and then I alternate personalities. Yeah. Sorry, I went off on a massive tangent there, but the whole point that I was trying to get at there was that even within the confines of the canon, there is room to say, well, the characters are allowed to be different. And it's allowed to cause events to play out in different ways. I just have to say, I'm doing something somewhat similar. Oh, really? That'd be wild, yeah. Sayori gets restored, but the game messes with her backstory and personality to accommodate for the post-Act 2 scenario I present. Okay. Actually, I like that idea a lot. You could write a good story around it. Yeah! Doki Doki Storm April Fool's update, guys. I'm gonna head out now. It's almost 12. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, Base and Chat. Thanks for hanging out for as long as you did. Thanks. That would take a huge effort from a large writing team. Yeah. I mean, it can be done single-handedly. I mean, hey, I wrote Storm single-handedly, and I'm writing Turquoise single-handedly. It's almost done, by the way. Sorry, the rough draft is almost done for Turquoise. 13 in-game days, and it's yeah, it's going to be a fairly long mod. I'm excited to see how it all fits together and plays out. I'm working on the ending is it's tough. There's just I know no spoilers or anything, but I do have like multiple reveals planned based around different character motivations, because different characters are hiding different things from each other. So I have to write the scene so it plays out in a way that is sensible to the character motivations, but is also paced okay, so the reveals come at correct times, and their motivations and actions still make sense. And I'm sort of torn between feeling like I'm worried about the pacing. Like, I'm worried that if I drag this out too long, I start to lose the audience. They might get bored. But on the other hand, if the pacing is too tight and I just have like one reveal after another, it's going to give the audience whiplash. I need to give the scene time to breathe. So it's going to need a lot of adjustment. I feel like I'm doing more adjusting than writing, which is a bad habit to get into when it's supposed to be a rough draft. But it's like I have like everything that I've written so far, which is like 600 lines, and under that is like multiple disjointed paragraphs, which I'm trying to figure out where to insert that in. Because like I know what needs to happen. I knew what they need to say, but like where does this fit? Where does this fit? And trying to get everything to fit together. And once I've done all that, then I have to go back over the whole thing from the beginning and make sure everything else fits with those plans reveals. Because it's like there's an ad for Masterclass. Maybe you've seen them on YouTube, from Neil Gaiman, where he has this comment that the art of writing the second draft is the art of making it look like you knew what you were doing all along, which I really like. It's because that's what it's all about, really. I mean, I have ideas about how I want things to play out, but I won't really know how it all fits together until I get to the end of the rough draft, and then I go back over it, and then I go, aha, okay, now I can find those opportunities to fit those in. And are there any Saturdays? Yes, there are in fact 2 Saturdays in Turquoise, 2 of them. So there you go. But yeah, I did sort of the same thing in Storm. I wrote most of Storm not knowing that the ending was going to be like Yuri and Natsuki getting together. But once I decided that, I went back over it and I tried to insert as much foreshadowing as I could every step of the way. And the Saturday scene, the mall scene, evolved from that. In my original conception of the mall, there was no such mall scene. got added. You know, along with all of the character development across their, you know, their exchanges of poems and stuff, and you know, like how that evolved over time. Um, and yeah, yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot to be said for that whole part of the creative process. Unbelievable, unbelievable. I can spell. Yeah. Um, yes, Saturdays exist in the turquoise universe. Anyway, I'm rambling so much here. Should probably actually get to the actual end of this here. So thanks for playing club meetings. Thanks to the usual folks who contribute assets used by the mod. You can see all the contributors in the credits.txt file. Don't forget to send Monica emails, etc., etc. See you next week. And it's back to Monica's house. So that was episode 16, episode 4 of season 2. Yeah. What should I say to wrap this up? Yeah. Politics, dumb but important. That sums up the whole politics section of it. Yeah, LGBT folks exist. Get over it. Canon, overrated. Get over it. Let people have their ships. Let people have their non-canon stories. Like, that's the whole point of making mods. It's silly to get upset over someone writing something that's different from your ideas of canon. Like, your ideas can coexist. Like, call it a different alternate universe, however you want to rationalize it. It's just a different story. If you might not like it, and that's fine. It's normal for different people to like different things. It's a little weird to attack someone for having a different idea of canon. Like, don't do that. It's not cool. But yeah, other than that, yeah, getting increasingly excited about turquoise. I really I think it has the power to maybe surpass Storm in terms of I don't know, populator. I don't know. I don't know how popular Storm is really. I mean, I think it's fairly popular. It's the most upvoted post, but that's influenced somewhat by the gorgeous artwork that was that I used in the to promote it. So, and then, you know, Peach Cake deserves the credit for that. She's the artist. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say that the quality of the mod contributes to that. But yeah, turquoise is a little. What I like about turquoise compared to Storm is that it's allowed to be its own thing. Like, it's more separate from the DDLC canon than usual. Like, Storm still had a lot of canon dialogue copy pasted in there, as much as I try to move away from it as possible. Turquoise is basically 100%, or maybe like 99%, like original material. I did like cheekily copy paste a few lines from canon here and there in places that you wouldn't necessarily expect them to be, just because. But like, basically the events play out completely differently, so don't expect anything to be the same as what's canon. So yeah, I mean, like, there's still a literature club, still has the same characters, albeit with a variable gender MC. But yeah, looking forward to that. Anyway, enough shameless self-plugging. Is there anyone worth rating at the moment? Probably gonna just skip rating today. Ashara's Artisan. Oh, she's playing Final Fantasy 16. You know what? Let's give her a raid. What the heck? I haven't played. I haven't played any of the Final Fantasy games, but yeah, I've been watching her play FF16. It's a gorgeous game. It's got some like the graphics and animation is good. I'm like the voice acting and characterization too. It looks pretty cool. Just finished that game and love it. Cool, very cool. Well, hey, we're gonna give her a raid. Let's send her some love. Yeah, she's actually someone that I know IRL. So it's cool to have the opportunity to give her some support. Oops. If I can just spell her name right here. There you are. Okay. Anyway, yes. With all that rambling done and out of the way, I'll be resuming club meetings next week, Saturday and Sunday. That's the pattern I've been doing for the last couple months, last few months, I guess. Yeah. That's all for now. Until next time.